Chapter 295. Bang, Bang, Bang. The southern wasteland city was located in the southern part of the cultivation world. It was one of the 5 major cities in the cultivation world. It was very lively and powerful. At this time, in the center of the southern wasteland city, 2 young cultivators were fighting. In a normal city, the center of the city was definitely the most prosperous area. It was where the city lord's mansion was located. However, the southern wasteland city was different from other cities. The center of the southern wasteland city was an empty area. It was a huge square with a radius of 1,000 miles. Although it was very spacious, it was one of the most lively places in the southern wasteland city. Every day, countless cultivators would come here to learn from each other and duel. At this time, in the square, 2 young cultivators were fighting. Waves of terrifying power were constantly erupting from the fight. The solid void was constantly torn apart by the aftermath of the fight between the 2 cultivators. The terrifying aura was constantly spreading and gradually covered the entire square, forcing the rest of the people in the square to the side. The square was surrounded by many cultivators. They were watching the fight between the 2 young cultivators in the square with great interest. The 2 young cultivators were at least in the crossing calamity stage. One by one, powerful combat skills burst out, causing the sky to fall and the earth to crack. However, what was surprising was that the strength of the 2 cultivators could shatter the void, but the underground of the square was not damaged. In the square, the fight between the 2 became more and more intense. It seemed that they were really angry. "Li Ling, you will die today." Jingxia gritted her teeth and looked at her opponent. She was furious and murderous. Li Ling was a young man in his 20s. He could be considered handsome, especially the faint smile on his face, which added to his charm. "Jingxia, you have said this many times, but I am still not dead." Li Ling's lips curled as he said with a smile. "You must die today." Jingxia repeated again. Li Ling sneered, but he despised Jingxia in his heart. He didn't know what was wrong with this guy. He inexplicably came to challenge him and was defeated by him. Not long after, this bastard seemed to hate him and repeatedly came to find trouble with him. It was just that although Li Ling's strength was not very powerful, Jingxia was completely not placed in his eyes. "Jingxia, I'm warning you, don't come looking for trouble with me again. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you." Li Ling's anger rose. Ever since he came to the southern wasteland city, he had been in a bad mood. Jingxia sneered in his heart. He had long been unhappy with this Li Ling ever since he was defeated in the previous challenge. He felt that it was an insult to him. Following which, he was defeated by Li Ling several times. This made him gnash his teeth in anger at Li Ling, wishing he could kill Li Ling. "Humph. Li Ling, you still don't know, right? I've finally broken through and reached the transformation stage. Later, I'll make you wish you were dead." Jingxia sneered in her heart. She was already planning how to torture and kill Li Ling. Although Li Ling's strength was powerful, he had yet to reach the transformation stage. The gap between the transformation stage and the tribulation stage was like a natural chasm. No matter how strong Li Ling was, he was no match for him. Jingxia laughed. Just as she was about to increase her strength and kill Li Ling, at this moment, he suddenly felt a sense of danger coming from behind him. Jingxia was shocked. At this moment she felt the aura of death. Shocked, she was about to turn her head to take a look. Whoosh! In the void, a golden light shot in from outside the southern wasteland city. Then, it fiercely bombarded Jingxia's body. Poor Jingxia. He had just broken through to the transformation stage. Before he could even display the strength of the transformation stage, he had already been smashed into a bloody mist by this golden light. After the golden light from outside the city smashed Jingxia, it did not stop. Instead, it continued to quickly hit Li Ling, who was standing opposite Jingxia at lightning speed. Jingxia, who was in the transformation stage, was directly smashed into pieces by this golden light. One could imagine how amazing the power contained in this golden light was. Moreover, the speed of the golden light was so terrifying that Jingxia could not even teleport before she was hit to death. Even though Li Ling's strength and experience had become extremely abundant over the years, he still stood on the spot in a daze in the face of the sudden golden light. This is a human. No, this is a demon. Li Ling stared blankly at the golden light that was rapidly enlarging in front of his eyes. He could clearly see that this golden light was actually a demon. It's over. Feeling the terrifying aura from this demon, Li Ling's expression changed. Although his physical body had been bombarded by the tribulation lightning and was much stronger than an ordinary cultivator in the transformation stage, he could feel that if he was hit by the golden light, he would definitely die. However, although he knew that he was in danger and wanted to avoid it, his body could not keep up with his thoughts. I'm dead meat. At this moment, Li Ling's heart was filled with despair. He could only stare blankly at the demon who was quickly crashing into him. He even imagined himself being punched into a bloody mist. Are you tired of living? Just as Li Ling closed his eyes and waited for death, a familiar voice suddenly rang in his ears. At the same time, a large hand appeared out of thin air above his head and directly grabbed him. The scene before Li Ling's eyes suddenly changed. Then, he realized that he had already left the square. Just as he left the square, the dark golden light, which was the demon, had already slammed into the ground where Li Ling had been standing. Boom! A terrifying power erupted from the demon's body and directly smashed the square that was so hard that even a cultivator in the transformation stage could not break, creating a huge crater. Li Ling was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. If he was hit by the demon, he would definitely be dead. At this moment, Li Ling finally reacted and looked at the person who had saved him. Li Ling was immediately pleasantly surprised. Uncle, why are you here? Looking at Li Ling, Murong Yu's expression was extremely gloomy. This guy had been training in the cultivation world, but his reaction and other aspects were really unsatisfactory. He was even scared silly just now. If he hadn't happened to save him here, Li Ling would have been killed long ago. A cultivator in the tribulation stage was actually scared silly. Murong Yu felt embarrassed. If I didn't come, how would I explain it to your father? Murong Yu said in a low voice. If Li Ling died, and died in such an embarrassing manner, Murong Yu really would not be able to explain it to Li Feng. Li Ling smiled embarrassedly. He also knew that he was really embarrassed. However, what made him feel strange was that Murong Yu was also here. However, seeing Murong Yu's gloomy expression, Li Ling did not ask. Instead, he looked at the square. Debris flew everywhere, and at this moment, the golden light finally revealed his face. It was a demon, an ape with golden fur. It was similar to the fire-eyed golden ape, but it was not a fire-eyed golden ape. The big black dog stood up and used his paw to poke the fire-eyed golden ape beside him. He chuckled and said, "Golden-furred ape, your brother." Your brother? The fire-eyed golden ape glared at the big black dog. Although the golden ape in the square was also of the ape race, it was not the ancient beast fire-eyed golden ape. It had nothing to do with him. Little Ape King, where do you think you're going? At this moment, a loud shout came from outside the southern desolation city. It was like rolling thunder. Most of the cultivators in the southern desolation city felt their blood boil. They felt dizzy and their ears rang. Those who were underground were directly knocked out. Little Ape King? My luck can't be that good, right? Looking at the ape in the square, Murong Yu was startled. Not long ago, he was still talking about the Little Ape King. Not long after, he met the Little Ape King. However, it seemed that the Little Ape King's current situation was not very good. It was obvious that the Little Ape King was attacked by someone. At a glance, the Little Ape King was covered in blood and was in a sorry state. Then, the one who was chasing after him was the protector of the Tianji sect's holy son, Hiyu? Boom! A huge fist suddenly reached out from the 9 heavens and fiercely bombarded the little ape king in the square. It wanted to kill the little ape king with one punch. The little ape king flipped over and stood up. He was not afraid at all and directly punched out. Rumble! 2 huge fists fiercely collided in the void. However, the little ape king was obviously no match for Protector Hiyu. His fist was directly smashed into pieces. On the other hand, Protector Hiyu's huge fist only shook violently and continued to bombard the little ape king. Murong Yu's pupils suddenly shrank. The person who attacked was obviously a first-step immortal. The little ape king was slightly weaker. He was not a first-step immortal, but his strength was already close to the first-step immortal realm. It seems that although the little ape king has been hunted down, it is not without benefits. His strength has obviously improved a lot. Murong Yu nodded. Uncle, do you know the little ape king? Li Ling came over and asked with a smile. No. Murong Yu's answer was straightforward. Li Ling was startled. You stay here and don't run around. I'll be back soon. Seeing Hiyu's protector rushing into the southern desolation city, Murong Yu's face showed an inexplicable smile. He took a step and disappeared on the spot. At the same time, the big black dog and the fire-eyed golden ape also teleported and disappeared. Seeing Murong Yu's smile, Li Ling could not help but shiver. Then, a hopeful smile appeared on his face. Looking at Uncle's smile, it seems that there will be a good show to watch. I wonder if he will attack the little ape king or kill the Tianji sect's first-step immortal. I'm really looking forward to it. In the immortal tomb, there were also a few half-immortals from the Tianji sect who wanted to kill Murong Yu. Now, he actually encountered Hiyu's protector, a first-step immortal from the Tianji sect. How could Murong Yu hold back? Chapter 296. With one step, Murong Yu's figure flashed and appeared in the square beside the little ape king. At the same time, the celestial sect's first-step immortal's huge fist had already shattered the void, carrying with it a terrifying aura that could destroy heaven and earth. The powerful and terrifying aura and the monstrous power shrouded the entire southern wasteland city, suppressing everyone. If this fist landed, the entire square would definitely be smashed into pieces. The vicinity of the square, and even the central area of the southern wasteland city, would also be smashed into pieces. Countless cultivators would be implicated and die innocently. Murong Yu's brows slightly wrinkled as he considered whether or not he should throw a punch. If he could block the attack of the celestial sect's first-step immortal, it would be very simple. At least he would not suffer any injuries. However, many cultivators near the square would definitely be killed. Murong Yu was not the kind of person to kill innocent people. Moreover, if he did so, he would definitely attract the attention of the southern wasteland city's lord. Who are you? Do not act presumptuously in the southern wasteland city. An angry shout came from the direction of the city lord's mansion. Suddenly, several figures appeared in the sky above the southern wasteland city. Each of them emitted an extremely powerful aura that could shake heaven and earth. 3 first-step immortals. Murong Yu's pupils shrank. He had already seen through the strength of these 3 people. At the same time, the celestial sect's first-step immortal was also startled. Because just a moment ago, 3 divine wills that were not inferior to his own had locked onto him. Deng Hualin knew that these were the experts of the southern wasteland city. The southern wasteland city was one of the 5 major cities of the cultivation world. Fighting was not prohibited here. Moreover, the square of the southern wasteland city was a place for cultivators to settle their grudges and dispute. However, there was a limit to this. Experts above the half-immortal level were absolutely not allowed to fight in the city. Experts of this level could easily kill countless cultivators with just a slight aftershock. If these people were to fight in the city, the entire southern wasteland city would be razed to the ground. Deng Hualin's pupils shrank. At the same time, He withdrew his power and did not dare to continue attacking. Although the celestial sect was powerful, the southern wasteland city was not weak. Moreover, this was the southern wasteland city. Even the Fecta sect was located tens of thousands of miles away. If he dared to attack in the city, he definitely wouldn't suspect these 3 first-step immortals. In fact, even more first-step immortals would directly attack him and kill him. Although a one-step immortal was powerful, he was not invincible. The strength of the southern wasteland city was definitely not limited to just 3 one-step immortals. Seeing that someone had stopped Deng Hualin, Murong Yu and the little ape king heaved a sigh of relief. Murong Yu heaved a sigh of relief because he didn't have to do it himself, and the little ape king could use this opportunity to recover his strength. It had been a few months. He had been chased by Deng Hualin for a few months. If it wasn't for the fact that he was quite powerful, he would have been killed a long time ago. Moreover, other than Deng Hualin, there were many other experts from the Fecta sect who were pursuing the little ape king. You are the little ape king? Murong Yu turned to look at the little ape king and asked indifferently. Who are you? The little ape king was surprised by the sudden appearance of this human cultivator. This was because he saw that Murong Yu was only a tribulation-passing stage cultivator. Only a cultivator of this stage dared to appear in the square under Deng Hualin's attack. If this person wasn't crazy, then he must have absolute power. Looking at Murong Yu, the little ape king didn't think that Murong Yu was crazy. In fact, he even vaguely sensed the terrifying energy of a one-step immortal from Murong Yu. Murong Yu said indifferently. The little ape king's eyes suddenly shone brightly, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. However, it disappeared in the blink of an eye. Although the little ape king was born not long ago, he had heard of Murong Yu's great name. In fact, there weren't many people in the cultivation world who hadn't heard of Murong Yu's great name. Enemies flying all over the sky, moving treasure trove, vicious, scheming, big devil. In an instant, these words appeared in the little ape king's mind. These were all the cultivator's descriptions of Murong Yu. Originally, the little ape king thought that a powerful person like Murong Yu would show off his abilities no matter how he looked at it. However, he didn't expect that the legendary Big Devil was actually a young man who didn't have any special characteristics. He was just a little delicate and good-looking. In fact, Murong Yu had been cultivating for almost 20 years. In addition to the more than 10 years before he started cultivating, Murong Yu was only in his 30s. Due to the rapid increase in his strength, Murong Yu still maintained his youthful appearance of around 20 years old. I wonder what the famous Murong Yu of the cultivation world wants to teach me? The little ape king looked at Murong Yu and said with a smile. The little ape king had already guessed that Murong Yu definitely had a motive for suddenly appearing beside him. However, he didn't know what it was exactly. The little ape king approved of Murong Yu from the bottom of his heart. Therefore, he didn't reject him. Let's work together. Murong Yu smiled. Work together? The little ape king had a puzzled expression on his face. He really couldn't think of what was there to work together between the two of them. Moreover, they didn't seem to know each other before. Murong Yu pointed at Deng Hualin, who was walking over with a murderous aura, and said, "Let's work together and kill him." The two of them didn't use telepathy to talk. Although their voices weren't loud, everyone present was a cultivator. Their words were clearly heard by everyone present. Of course, Deng Hualin, who had stopped attacking, also heard every word clearly. So, he's Murong Yu. It's said that he has killed many half-immortals. He even killed 2 first-step immortals from Zhushenzong. The surrounding cultivators were shocked when they heard Murong Yu's words. Murong Yu wants to work with the little ape king to kill the first-step immortal from the Fecta sect? The surrounding cultivators couldn't help but gasp when they heard that Murong Yu wanted to work with the little ape king. That was a first-step immortal, a peak existence in the cultivation world. The two of them were actually planning to kill such a person? There was no doubt about Morong-Yu's strength. Not long ago, he had killed 2 first-step immortals. However, that was because of the heavenly tribulation. As for Morong-Yu's strength, they didn't think that he could kill a first-step immortal. As for the little ape king, it was even more impossible. He had been chased by Deng Hualin for several months. If he could kill a first-step immortal, he would have done so long ago. However, he didn't even have the strength to shake off Deng Hualin. You don't know what's good for you. Deng Hualin almost died of anger when he heard Morong-Yu's words. If the 3 first-step immortals from the southern desolate city hadn't locked onto him, he would have killed Morong-Yu with one slap. He was just a tribulation passing stage cultivator. So what if Morong-Yu could kill a half-step immortal? He was still nothing in the eyes of a first-step immortal. Deng Hualin was confident that he could kill Morong-Yu with one slap. Ha ha ha, the little ape king, who was covered in blood, laughed loudly when he heard Morong-Yu's words. He patted Morong-Yu's shoulder and said, "Ha ha, brother, not bad. I've wanted to kill this old bastard for a long time. Motherf asterisk cur, he's been following me like a shadow for the past few months. It's so f asterisk king annoying." The surrounding cultivators' faces darkened. The little ape king actually described Deng Hualin, a first-step immortal, as a shadow. How would Deng Hualin feel? In an instant, countless cultivators' eyes were on Deng Hualin. At this moment, Deng Hualin was full of killing intent as he looked at Morong-Yu. His face was as black as ink, and he didn't hide his killing intent towards the little ape king at all. "Although I really want to kill this old bastard, can we do it?" The little ape king was a straightforward person and said whatever was on his mind. Just as he said, he really wanted to kill Deng Hualin. After all, he had been chased by a person for a few months and still couldn't shake him off. One could imagine how sullen he was. However, he had some doubts about Morong-Yu's strength. Although Morong-Yu was strong and he wasn't weak, he didn't think that the 2 of them could kill Deng Hualin together. "Why don't we try and find out?" Morong-Yu looked at the little ape king and smiled. "Haha, then let's try. Let's see if we can kill this old bastard. However, regardless of whether we can kill this old bastard or not, you are my brother." The little ape king patted Morong-Yu's shoulder with his fan-sized hand. Deng Hualin was about to die from anger. The anger in his heart was about to ignite himself. His eyes were cold as he looked at Morong-Yu and the little ape king with incomparable hatred. If they weren't in southern wasteland city, he would have already killed Morong-Yu and the little ape king. "Brother, when are we going to do it?" The little ape king licked his lips and looked at Deng Hualin with a murderous expression. The little ape king couldn't hide his killing intent towards this expert who had chased him for a few months and still let him go. Morong-Yu laughed and said, "Although I really want to kill him now, we can't do it in southern wasteland city. Let's go outside the city." "Okay." The little ape king also laughed. He immediately soared into the sky and flew out of southern wasteland city. Morong-Yu smiled and also soared into the sky. He rushed out of the city side by side with the little ape king. "2 little bastards." Deng Hualin gritted his teeth and soared into the sky, chasing after them. He had made up his mind. This time, even if he had to burn his lifespan, he would still kill Morong-Yu and the little ape king. Insulting him, a one-step immortal, in public was akin to stepping on his face and dignity. He couldn't take it anymore. Morong-Yu and the little ape king are joining forces to kill a one-step immortal from the Tianji sect. The moment Morong-Yu and the little ape king left, the cultivators near the square also soared into the sky. At the same time, the news of the 2 joining forces quickly spread in southern wasteland city. In a short period of time, almost all the cultivators in southern wasteland city knew about this matter. Therefore, countless cultivators left southern wasteland city and chased after them. No matter the result of this battle, it would cause a sensation in the cultivation world. Chapter 297. Although the little Ape King was not as fast as Morong Yu, he was still extremely fast. Otherwise, he would not have been chased by a one-step immortal for several months without being killed. Although Morong Yu was faster than the little Ape King, he was only walking side by side with the little Ape King. He was worried that Deng Hualin would attack them halfway. Deng Hualin looked at Morong Yu and the little Ape King with a murderous look, not bothering to hide his killing intent. Apart from the three of them, countless other cultivators rushed out. As long as there were people, there would be onlookers. Humans were the most curious animals. After the little Ape King and Morong Yu left the southern wilderness city, they kept heading south. Soon, they were more than 1,000,000 miles away from the southern wilderness city and stopped on top of an endless mountain range. "You two little bastards, prepare to die." Deng Hualin rushed up and smirked. He slammed his palm down, enveloping Morong Yu and the little Ape King. He wanted to kill them both at the same time. However, as one of the parties involved, Morong Yu could feel that most of Deng Hualin's power was locked on the little Ape King. After all, although Morong Yu was detestable, the little Ape King was even more detestable. The little Ape King had killed He Yu, the chosen one of the Tianji sect, right under his nose. Deng Hualin was the chosen one's guardian. Therefore, Deng Hualin hated the little Ape King to the core. "Brother, are you confident that you can kill this old bastard?" The little Ape King's body shone with a dazzling golden light as he threw out a punch. At the same time, he turned to look at Morong Yu and asked, "I'm not very confident. However, as long as we work together, I think we should be able to kill him." Morong Yu laughed. His body was also shining. Rays of black light shot up into the sky and enveloped him firmly, making him look like a demon god. "All right, the two of us will kill this old bastard today." "Ha!" The little Ape King laughed and unleashed his power without holding back. Rumble! The power of the three of them collided violently in the void. Then, they all exploded into pieces. Humph! Although the little Ape King was powerful, he had yet to reach the first step immortal realm. Under the impact of the collision, he was immediately forced back. However, Morong Yu's strength was extremely terrifying. He actually stood in place without moving. As for Deng Hualin, as a veteran one-step immortal, he was even stronger than Morong Yu. After all, Morong Yu was only at the tribulation passing stage. Although his strength was comparable to a first-step celestial, he was not a first-step celestial. As a true first-step immortal, Deng Hualin's body had mostly transformed into an immortal body. It was precisely because of his immortal physique that his attacks vaguely carried the might of an immortal, which was extremely terrifying. In fact, cultivators whose strength had reached half immortal already had the pressure of immortals and a trace of immortal power, but it was too thin. If he wanted to unleash the full might of an immortal, he would have to become one. However, although a first-step immortal was only one step away from becoming an immortal, it still wasn't an immortal in the end. The immortal's might that erupted from a first-step immortal could deter ordinary cultivators, but it had no effect on Morong Yu. Morong Yu was not even afraid of the terrifying power of the heavenly tribulation, let alone the might of an immortal. Seeing that Morong Yu was so powerful, the little Ape King's face was filled with shock. Deng Hualin's expression also became serious, and he re-evaluated Morong Yu. Little B** starred, "Your strength is not bad, but you're still not a first-step immortal. Today, I'll show you what it means to be a first-step immortal." Deng Hualin sneered and rushed forward in a flash, throwing a punch at Morong Yu. Morong Yu sneered. Although he was not a first-step immortal, he definitely had the strength of a first-step immortal. He took a step forward and instantly traversed through space, appeared in front of Deng Hualin, and threw a punch. Bang! A terrifying impact erupted from the place where the two of them exchanged blows, and the surrounding void was instantly torn into billions of pieces. The terrifying impact rippled out like water ripples, and the void was constantly torn apart wherever it passed. Both of them let out a muffled groan as they were sent flying. They were actually evenly matched with each other. When the nearby cultivators saw this scene, they could not help but gasp. Murong Yu was only at the crossing calamity stage, but he actually had the strength to contend with a first-step immortal. This was simply too terrifying. Old B** starred, take this. Although the little ape king was also shocked, he did not forget his purpose today. In a flash, he rushed above Deng Hualin's head and threw a punch at him. Although his strength was not as strong as a first-step immortal, the gap was not very big. Otherwise, he would not have just been sent flying. Great Vajra wheel seal! Murong Yu shouted in his heart. Suddenly, a seal the size of a sacred mountain appeared out of thin air and suppressed Deng Hualin. At the same time, Murong Yu took a step forward, traversed billions of spacetime, and appeared not far in front of Deng Hualin. Then, he threw out a mighty elephant-pulling fist. Rumble, the three of them fought fiercely. The black divine light that was like a demonic mountain, the golden divine light that was like the sun, and the blue energy that was like a vast ocean constantly crisscrossed in the void, and they fought fiercely. Terrifying waves of energy were constantly emitted, and the void was constantly shattered. The endless mountains under the ground were also bombarded by this terrifying energy, and they had long been smashed into powder. Dragon Elephant Prajna Skill, Tiger Roaring Imperial Fist, Great Vajra Wheel Seal. Murong Yu had almost used all his combat skills, and the sky changed color. The little ape king also used all his trump cards, and he was even more desperate than Murong Yu. After all, he hated the one-step celestial who had chased after him for months. Deng Hualin was after all a veteran one-step immortal. He used one combat skill after another to fight Murong Yu and the little ape king together, and he was not at a disadvantage. Murong Yu could not help but sigh. He had underestimated a one-step immortal. The three of them fought for a long time, but they were still evenly matched. It was impossible for Murong Yu and the little ape king to kill Deng Hualin, and it was also impossible for Deng Hualin to kill them. Murong Yu and the little ape king could not help but feel anxious. Although the two of them seemed to have fought to a draw with Deng Hualin, they were still alone in the end. Apart from Deng Hualin, there were also one-step immortals from the Fectus sect who were chasing after the little ape king. If a second one-step immortal caught up, Murong Yu and the little ape king would be in danger. Great Ancestor Deng, let me give you a hand. Just when Murong Yu and the little ape king were feeling anxious, a loud shout came from afar, and a powerful aura quickly flew over from the horizon. Murong Yu and the little ape king looked at each other, and they both saw the uneasy look in each other's eyes. Boom! A huge fist shattered a large part of the void, penetrating through billions of spacetime obstacles, and blasted towards Murong Yu and the little ape king. Deng Hualin was immediately overjoyed, and he also punched out. Murong Yu sneered, and with a backhand palm, he shattered the incoming fist. At the same time, he felt relieved and sneered. A mere half-immortal wants to die? You're courting death. A half-immortal was not a threat to Murong Yu and the little ape king. Of course, there was also a veteran one-step immortal. With the two of them working together, Murong Yu and the little ape king were immediately suppressed. Deng Hualin laughed and his attacks became even sharper. Two little bastards die. With the addition of the half-immortal from the sect, the pressure on Deng Hualin was greatly reduced, and his attacks became even sharper, directly forcing the little ape king to retreat. Murong Yu and the little ape king looked at each other. Kill this half-immortal first. The instant they exchanged glances, the two of them suddenly erupted, and their strongest attacks blasted towards Deng Hualin, directly forcing Deng Hualin to retreat. At the same time, the two of them directly rushed towards the half-immortal from the Tianji sect. Boom! Boom! The two of them attacked at the same time, and the half-immortal was caught unprepared, and was directly sent flying. However, this half-immortal was also very powerful. He was actually able to withstand the joint attack of Murong Yu and the little Ape King without dying. "You block Deng Hualin, I'll kill him," Murong Yu coldly shouted, and took a step forward, attacking the half-immortal. "Bastard, you're courting death." Seeing this, Deng Hualin was furious. If this half-immortal was killed by Murong Yu, then he would lose even more face. He furiously roared, and with a teleport, he directly rushed towards Murong Yu. During this process, one of his big hands erupted with terrifying power, and with a palm strike, the little Ape King was sent flying while vomiting blood. The furious Deng Hualin actually erupted with power that was even stronger than his peak state. Just as he was about to kill the Tianji sect's half-immortal, Deng Hualin's attack also arrived. If Murong Yu could withstand Deng Hualin's attack, then he could actually kill this half-immortal. However, Murong Yu didn't dare to take the attack of a veteran first-step immortal head-on. It was too risky. Once he was heavily injured, even if he had the Tree of Life, he would still be in great danger. Roar! Just as Murong Yu was about to summon Beastie and teleport away from Deng Hualin's attack, a shocking roar rushed over from the distance. At this moment, a golden lion head as big as a divine mountain appeared out of thin air, majestic and awe-inspiring. The golden lion head carried an aura that could destroy heaven and earth. It fiercely opened its mouth, revealing incomparably sinister white teeth, and fiercely bit towards Deng Hualin. Deng Hualin felt the threat. He withdrew the power that was attacking Murong Yu, and changed it to a punch towards the golden lion head. "Little Lion King?" Seeing this golden lion head, the little Ape King could not help but exclaim in a low voice. "Little Lion King? The existence that's ranked 6th on the Dragon Phoenix list?" Murong Yu was puzzled, but his movements were not slow, and he directly punched out. Bang! How could this cultivator, who was only in half-immortal realm, be Murong Yu's opponent? He was directly smashed into a bloody mist by a punch. At the same time, Deng Hualin had also smashed the golden lion head in the sky with a punch. Chapter 298. Deng Hualin killed that huge golden lion head with one punch. But on the other side, Murong Yu also killed that half-immortal from Tianji sect. This made Deng Hualin very angry. "Bastard, I want you to die!" Deng Hualin roared. His figure flashed and was about to rush towards Murong Yu. "Eat my fist first." At this moment, a huge cold shout descended from the sky. Following that, a young man whose whole body was flickering with brilliant golden light appeared above Deng Hualin out of thin air. Before his voice fell, a huge fist condensed with heaven-destroying and earth-exterminating power smashed through the void and ruthlessly smashed towards Deng Hualin. Deng Hualin's face revealed a trace of graveness. The power of this young man who suddenly appeared still caused a trace of threat to him. Even if it was him, he wouldn't dare to not block it and be killed by it. Rumble! Deng Hualin's palm slapped forward. Two incomparably terrifying powers violently collided and then exploded, blasting a large area of the void. The young man above the void groaned. In the end, he was not Deng Hualin's opponent and was directly sent flying. And Deng Hualin was also slightly shaken by the bombardment. "Old bastard, die!" At this moment, little Ape King's attack also went up. "Great Vajra Wheel Seal!" Murong Yu roared in a low voice and struck out a huge palm imprint containing terrifying power towards Deng Hualin. Deng Hualin roared again and again. But facing the attacks of three most outstanding experts of the younger generation, even if he was powerful as a first-step immortal, he could not break free in a short time. "Little Lion King, why did you come here?" Little Ape King asked in the battle. Little Lion King was the young man who attacked Deng Hualin before. He was one of the 10 great demon kings of Demon Mountain, Golden Lion King's bloodline. He was very powerful, ranked 6th on Dragon Phoenix list. His strength was similar to Little Ape King, who was ranked 4th on Dragon Phoenix list. He was Little Ape King's good friend and enemy. "I saw that you were about to die and I was not happy to see you, old bastard, so I came here." the little Lion King said as he smashed the void with his fist, causing the sky to constantly collapse. He blasted towards Deng Hualin. Looking at the little Ape King and the little Lion King, Morong Yu was also surprised. These two fellows had already cultivated to the half-immortal realm at such a young age. Moreover, their strength was almost comparable to a first-step immortal. Her cultivation speed was much faster than his. Although Morong Yu's strength was comparable to a first-step immortal, the gap between him and these people was too big. In terms of realm alone, Morong Yu could not compare to the two people in the top 10 of the Dragon Phoenix ranking. However, Morong Yu didn't realize that ever since he'd entered the cultivation world, he'd relied on his own hard work for everything. As for the little Lion King, the little Ape King, and the other proud sons of heaven from the various large sects and forces, they did not need to work hard for the resources they needed. With the huge force behind them providing them with all kinds of resources, and their talents were not bad, it would be strange if their cultivation levels were not high. In comparison, Morong Yu's growth was countless times faster than theirs. After all, who could possess the strength of a one-step celestial after cultivating for less than 20 years? Although Deng Hualin's strength was strong, he had chased after the little Ape King for a few months and still could not kill him. On the other hand, the little Lion King's strength was about the same as the little Ape King's. When the two of them joined forces, they already had the strength to fight against Deng Hualin. Not to mention, Morong Yu, who had the strength of a first-step immortal, was also abnormal. Therefore, when the little Lion King joined the battle, Deng Hualin was immediately suppressed to a disadvantage. Seeing that Deng Hualin was at a disadvantage, Morong Yu and the other two fought even harder. One by one, they attacked their own strength to their heart's content, causing Deng Hualin to roar angrily and suffer unspeakable pain. It's worth it to be able to see the most outstanding cultivator of the younger generation fight a first-step immortal. In the distance, countless cultivators watched the battle with excitement. Usually, how could it be so easy to see a battle between experts of this level? Not to mention their battle, even a first-step immortal, Morong Yu, or an expert of the little Ape King's level would be difficult to encounter. But today these four people were fighting here. Just watching them fight had already opened their eyes wide. That Morong Yu is truly powerful. He alone should be enough to fight against Deng Hualin, right? One of the cultivators said in shock. Morong Yu is a monster. He has such powerful strength in less than 20 years of cultivation. It's really shameful for us. An old Tribulation Realm cultivator said with a face full of shame. Haha, you don't have to be so ashamed. You also said that he's a monster. There aren't many people like him in the entire cultivation world. Most people are the same as us. Another cultivator said with a smile. In fact, there were not many experts at the level of Morong Yu and the little Ape King in the entire cultivation world. After all, to have such terrifying strength at such a young age, his aptitude was too terrifying. However, there was never a lack of geniuses in the cultivation world. These people were the geniuses of the geniuses, the top of the geniuses. The young people of this generation are stronger than the previous generation. Some of the older cultivators said. There was never a lack of geniuses in every generation, including geniuses at the level of the little Ape King. But a monster like Morong Yu had never appeared before. Even the Devil Mountain Lord was far inferior to Morong Yu. Of course, this was referring to his aptitude and not the strength of the Devil Mountain Lord. In terms of strength, even if there were a few more Morong Yu, the Devil Mountain Lord still couldn't beat him. Morong Yu is enough to fight against Deng Hualin. Even if he can't kill Deng Hualin alone, Deng Hualin can't kill him either. Although the little Ape King and the little Lion King are also very powerful, they're still slightly inferior to Morong Yu. Someone commented, "Doesn't that mean that Morong Yu's ranking on the Dragon Phoenix list has risen to at least 4th place?" Hearing this, a cultivator said in shock. If nothing unexpected happens, that should be the case. In fact, Morong Yu's strength had indeed suppressed the little Ape King and the little Lion King. As for the cultivators below the little Ape King, if they hadn't reached the immortal realm, they probably wouldn't be able to suppress Morong Yu. I wonder how big the gap is between Morong Yu and the top 3 of the Dragon Phoenix list? Someone compared in his heart. Not long ago, Morong Yu couldn't withstand a single blow from Xueqin. But now it's hard to say. Morong Yu's strength has increased too quickly, but Xueqin isn't bad either. As for the second place Little Rock King, especially the first place Li Su, they're too mysterious. It's said that no one knows what realm they're at. The top 3 of the Dragon Phoenix list were too powerful. If there was no comparison, it would be difficult to distinguish between the strong and the weak. However, Morong Yu had already rushed into the 4th place of the Dragon Phoenix list. There was no doubt about this. The outcome is about to be decided. Deng Hualin is going to suffer. At this moment, the surrounding cultivators all looked over with rapt attention. In the distance, under the joint attack of Morong Yu, the little Ape King, and the little Lion King, Deng Hualin was already in a state of exhaustion. Boom! Morong Yu struck out a great Vajra Chakra seal and ruthlessly suppressed it, forcing Deng Hualin to retreat. At the same time, the little Ape King and the little Lion King's attacks were also swift and fierce. At this moment, whether it was Deng Hualin, Morong Yu, or the little Ape King and the little Lion King, their bodies were all covered in blood. This was especially true for Deng Hualin. Under the attacks of Morong Yu and the other 2 experts, his body was in an extremely sorry state, revealing many shocking wounds. Among the 4 of them, only Morong Yu was considered to be in a better state. Because of the Tree of Life, even if he was injured, he could recover immediately. This shocked the little Ape King and the others. Deng Hualin, you can die now. Morong Yu sneered and then shouted, Dark God Prajna. Morong Yu finally used the strongest move of the Dragon Elephant Prajna technique. Boom! This was Morong Yu's full-strength attack. Immediately, 2 incomparably huge figures appeared above Morong Yu's head in the void, emitting an extremely terrifying aura. 2 figures, one golden and one black, the phantoms of gods and demons. The moment the 2 phantoms of gods and demons appeared, they directly threw a punch at Deng Hualin. At this moment, the aura of death suddenly rose in Deng Hualin's heart, and he was instantly terrified. The little Ape King and the little Lion King were also shocked, and their bodies swayed and retreated rapidly. Deng Hualin was extremely terrified, and he also wanted the little Ape King and the little Lion King to teleport away. However, he realized that he had been locked on by the 2 phantoms of gods and demons. There was no way to escape at all, and he could only fight head-on. Taking a deep breath, Deng Hualin suppressed the fear in his heart and began to frantically increase his strength. He knew that if he could not withstand this attack, he would definitely die. Boom! Deng Hualin condensed all his strength on his fist, and then he directly threw a punch at the phantoms of gods and demons. Rumble! As soon as the 2 forces collided, Deng Hualin's fist instantly shattered. The phantoms of gods and demons also trembled slightly, but the power of the phantoms of gods and demons was indomitable and directly blasted on Deng Hualin's body. Crack! Deng Hualin fiercely spat out a large mouthful of blood and flew backward, and the crisp sound of bones breaking could be heard from his body. His bones were probably shattered. Morong Yu stood in the same place. Although Deng Hualin was blasted away by him, he was not able to kill him in one blow, which made him feel very regretful. He wanted to rush up and kill Deng Hualin, but the blow just now had already consumed all his strength. Even with the Tree of Life, Morong Yu could not recover the strength that he had consumed in a short period of time. Therefore, he could only stand in the void, leaving Deng Hualin to the little Ape King and the little Lion King. Not dead? Chapter 299. When Deng Hualin saw that he wasn't dead, he was happy, but at the same time, he couldn't help but feel terrified. Although he wasn't dead, he was already heavily injured. At this moment, either the little ape king or the little lion king could easily kill him if they rushed up. Run! Although Deng Hualin was unwilling, his life was more important. His figure flashed and he wanted to teleport away. However, at this moment, a golden light suddenly appeared in the void above his head. Then, with a bang, it directly hit Deng Hualin's head. Pooh! Deng Hualin's head instantly shattered, and his brain matter splattered everywhere. An expert of a generation, a one-step immortal, was actually killed just like that. He wasn't killed by Murong Yu, the little Lion King, and the little Ape King, but he was hit by a stick and directly killed? He actually died in such a sullen manner. In an instant, countless cultivators, including Murong Yu and the other two people involved, were stunned. Who hit Deng Hualin, a one-step immortal, to death with a stick? Everyone looked at the void in front of them in confusion. At this moment, a smile appeared on Murong Yu's face. He already knew who hit Deng Hualin to death with a stick. The void shattered, and a figure slowly appeared in front of everyone. It was a golden-haired ape with a golden stick in his hand. Not long after the golden ape appeared, the void shattered, and a big black dog appeared beside the golden ape. Woof! F***ck, golden-haired ape, you're actually so fast. The big black dog looked at the fire-eyed golden ape and barked furiously. Then, he opened his mouth and instantly swallowed Deng Hualin's corpse into his stomach. Seeing the fire-eyed golden ape and the big black dog appear, the little ape king and the little lion king instantly revealed vigilant expressions. Although they weren't too seriously injured due to the battle with Deng Hualin, they were constantly suffering from minor injuries. Moreover, their strength was also severely depleted. Most importantly, the fire-eyed golden ape and the big black dog weren't weak either. They were at least half-immortal existences. If they were their enemies, the little ape king and the little lion king probably wouldn't be their match now. Demon race again? The surrounding cultivators were all shocked when they saw the two of them. They shouldn't be from the Yao clan. These two should be Murong Yu's subordinates, a well-informed person said. The news of Murong Yu slaughtering everyone in the immortal tomb and killing dozens of half-immortals had already spread out. Naturally, the news that the fire-eyed golden ape and the big black dog were Murong Yu's subordinates had already spread. It was just that many cultivators had yet to react in time. Murong Yu's two subordinates? The surrounding people couldn't help but gasp. Murong Yu's strength was already very abnormal. And just now, the fire-eyed golden ape had killed Deng Hualin, a first-step immortal, with a single strike. Its strength should not be weak. Otherwise, even if Deng Hualin was severely injured, he was still a one-step celestial after all. Murong Yu is getting stronger and stronger. His two subordinates are at least half-immortals. In the distance, countless cultivators looked at Murong Yu with reverence. Just this alone was enough for these people to be so shocked. If they knew that Murong Yu had 100,000 transformation stage cultivators under him, wouldn't they all be scared silly? Seeing the little ape king and little lion king's vigilance, Murong Yu laughed and said, "Haha, the two of you don't have to be like this. They are my subordinates." At the same time, the fire-eyed golden ape and the big black dog had already arrived behind Murong Yu. The little ape king and the little lion king sized up the two of them and looked at Murong Yu with shock and said, "The two of them are your subordinates?" As demons, they were clearer than other human cultivators. They could tell at a glance that the fire-eyed golden ape was different from the big black dog. They were both ancient mutated beasts, especially the fire-eyed golden ape. As the grandson of the giant ape king, one of the 10 great demon kings of the Demon Mountain, the little ape king wasn't an ordinary ape. He had a higher bloodline among apes. However, he could feel the pressure of a superior being from the fire-eyed golden ape. It was a noble aura from its bloodline. The little ape king knew that this was because the fire-eyed golden ape's bloodline was more noble than his. The little ape king kept sizing up the fire-eyed golden ape. When he saw the eyes of the fire-eyed golden ape, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Fire-eyed golden ape, you are actually a fire-eyed golden ape? Fire-eyed golden ape?" The little Lion King looked at the shocked little Ape King with a strange expression. He didn't understand, because he had never heard of the fire-eyed golden ape. The fire-eyed golden ape is the royal family of our ape race. The little Ape King shook his head and smiled bitterly. Perhaps others didn't know, but as a member of the ape race, he was very clear about the status of the fire-eyed golden ape. The fire-eyed golden ape's bloodline was extremely rare, but it was the royal family of the ape race. Although the bloodline was rare, every one of them had great achievements. They were above all the other apes and were the royal family of the ape race. If the fire-eyed golden ape returned to the Demon Mountain now, it would probably be treated as a guest by the giant Ape King. It might even be treated like an emperor. Golden-furred ape? You are the royal family of the ape race? This really makes Lord Heavenly Dog laugh. The big black dog stood up and pointed at the fire-eyed golden ape with his paw. He couldn't help but laugh out loud. The fire-eyed golden ape glanced at the little Ape King with a calm expression and remained unmoved. In fact, as a fire-eyed golden ape, he already knew that he was the royal family of the ape race. However, in this world where strength was respected, so what if he was the royal family? Without equal strength, there would be no equal status. It was the same even if he was the royal family. Even if he was an ordinary ape, as long as he had super strength, his status wouldn't be bad. The fire-eyed golden ape, who deeply understood this, didn't feel anything about the royal family at all. Murong-Yu also looked at the fire-eyed golden ape in surprise. Although he knew that the fire-eyed golden ape was an ancient beast, he didn't know that it was the royal family of the ape race. What royal family? It's all fleeting. I'm only the Lord's subordinate now. The fire-eyed golden ape looked at the little Ape King and said calmly. The little Ape King looked at Murong-Yu in surprise. He was once again shocked by Murong-Yu. He could even subdue the royal family of the ape race. This person was really unfathomable. As demons, they had the pride of demons in their hearts. It was basically impossible for them to be the subordinates of humans. Moreover, the fire-eyed golden ape was the royal family of the ape race. It was basically the royal family of the demon race. Their pride was even greater than ordinary demons. Alright, let's return to Southern Desolation City first. Otherwise, if another first step immortal comes, we'll be in for a tragedy. Murong-Yu said calmly and then flew back to Southern Desolation City first. In the best restaurant in Southern Desolation City, Murong-Yu and the others sat around a table and chatted happily. Their friendship with the little Ape King and the little Lion King was forged through fighting. Although the three of them had only known each other for less than a day, after joining forces to fight a first-step immortal, the three of them were like old friends for decades. Both the little Ape King and the little Lion King were straightforward people. When dealing with such people, there was no need to worry about whether they were hypocritical or scheming. So refreshing. This is the best day I've had in months. The little Ape King hugged a jar of wine and poured it into his stomach, then laughed loudly. Although his strength was not bad, he was chased by Deng Hualin for several months without being able to get rid of him. It was really sullen. I have to thank you, Brother Murong-Yu. If it wasn't for you, I'm afraid I would still be on the road of being chased. The little Ape King looked at Murong-Yu and said seriously. Murong-Yu smiled faintly. I just don't like the people of the Fectus sect. The little Ape King and the little Lion King were startled at first, then they laughed loudly. What a good don't like the people of the Fectus sect. A first-step immortal killed them just because he didn't like them. If the people of the Fectus sect knew about this, would they cry themselves to death? I think I'm already arrogant enough, but I didn't expect Murong-Yu to be even more arrogant than me. The little Lion King looked at Murong-Yu and laughed loudly. I'm a very low-key person, Murong-Yu said with a smile. Plop, the little Ape King, the little Lion King, and everyone in the restaurant fell to the ground. Murong Yu was a low-key person? This guy had shocked the self-cultivator world since his debut. In the past 10 years, countless experts had died in his hand. He had just killed a first-step immortal. If this was called low-key, then no one knew what was high-key. You're too modest. The little Lion King got up from the ground and said to Murong Yu with a red face. He was blushing. Only now did he know what a low-key person was. Looks like we're not low-key enough. Alright, we'll have to keep a low profile in the future. The little Ape King and the little Lion King looked at each other, then laughed and said at the same time. Looking at the little Ape King and the little Lion King, Murong Yu muttered in his heart, "These two guys are the strongest in the younger generation. Should I pull them together to do a few big things?" Speaking of which, we actually killed a first-step immortal today. It feels so good. Murong, when are we going to kill another first-step immortal for fun? The little Lion King looked at Murong Yu and said in a negotiating tone. The little Ape King also nodded continuously. Murong Yu spat out the wine he had just drunk. Kill a first-step immortal for fun? These two guys were indeed people who wanted to see the world in chaos. However, with their combination, killing a first-step immortal was not difficult. After all, even a first-step immortal like Deng Hualin had been killed. Hearing the little Lion King's words, the cultivators at the nearby tables left without leaving a trace. These fellows were simply lunatics. Killing a first-step immortal was just for fun? That was the pinnacle of the self-cultivator world. But in their words, it was just for fun. Footsteps sounded from the stairs. A few cultivators walked up and sat at a table near Murong Yu. A cultivator lowered his voice and said, "It's said that the Immortal Ascension platform has reappeared in the self-cultivator world. I wonder if it's true." Chapter 300. The Immortal Ascension platform has reappeared in the cultivation world? Although the person who spoke had deliberately lowered his voice, everyone in the restaurant was a cultivator with excellent hearing. Thus, they were able to hear what he said clearly. Murong Yu naturally heard their conversation as well. However, as he knew nothing about the Immortal Ascension platform, he was expressionless. However, he noticed that the little Ape King and little Lion King, who were sitting at the same table as him, were shocked. Not only that, but most of the cultivators in the restaurant were also shocked. Although Murong Yu did not think much of it, he knew that the Immortal Ascension platform was no ordinary object. Otherwise, the little Ape King and little Lion King would not have such expressions. The Immortal Ascension platform has the word immortal in it. Does it have something to do with immortals? Murong Yu muttered to himself as he looked at the little Ape King and little Lion King. What is the Immortal Ascension platform? Listening to them talk about the Immortal Ascension platform, he only knew that the Immortal Ascension platform had reappeared in the cultivation world. He did not know more about it. In the end, Murong Yu could not help but ask. The little Ape King took a deep breath and suppressed the shock in his heart. Then, he looked at Murong Yu in shock and asked, "You don't even know about the Immortal Ascension platform?" "If I knew, why would I ask you?" Murong Yu glared at him. The little Lion King and little Ape King looked at each other. They were amazed. Murong Yu's strength was comparable to a first-step immortal. Did he really not know about the Immortal Ascension platform? Just by looking at Murong Yu's expression, they were sure that Murong Yu did not know about the Immortal Ascension platform. This made them even more confused. What they did not know was that Murong Yu had only been cultivating for less than 20 years. Although he was strong, he had only been in the cultivation world for a short time. Most importantly, he did not have a master. As a result, Murong Yu's knowledge of the cultivation world had become extremely limited. He did not know about some of the more secretive legends. The so-called Immortal Ascension stage has the same function as the Stairway to Heaven and the Gate of Immortality. The Immortal Ascension stage is connected to the immortal realm and the cultivation world. Legend has it that as long as you enter the Immortal Ascension stage, You will be able to reach the immortal realm, Little Lion King explained. Murong Yu was shocked. His voice was a little loud, and it attracted the attention of everyone in the restaurant. Doesn't that mean we don't have to cultivate hard? Anyone can enter the immortal realm through the immortal ascension stage? If they didn't know the identity of Murong Yu and the others, these people would have already ridiculed them. This was the immortal ascension stage. It was a bridge that connected the immortal world and the cultivation world. One could enter the immortal world directly through the immortal ascension stage. There was no need to wait for one's physical body to completely transform into an immortal body. If his physical body was completely transformed into an immortal body, he would naturally be able to ascend without any danger. However, for hundreds of thousands of years, or even longer, no one in the cultivation world had ascended. This was because the transformation of the immortal physique was too slow. Almost everyone in the transformation period couldn't completely transform their physical body into an immortal physique after their lifespan was exhausted and they could ascend. The reason why cultivators in the transformation period were unable to transform their physical body into an immortal physique was because there was too little immortal qi. If they ascended to the immortal realm, they could rely on the immortal qi to quickly restore their physical body and become a true immortal. This way, their lifespan and strength would increase exponentially. One could only imagine how big of an uproar the reappearance of the immortal ascension stage would cause in the cultivation world. The cultivation world was already not peaceful to begin with. Because of the reappearance of the immortal ascension stage, the cultivation world would once again turn into a bloodbath. Any cultivator would want to use the immortal ascension stage to ascend to the immortal realm. After all, becoming an immortal would not only grant one a longer lifespan, but also greater strength. Lifespan and strength were what all cultivators pursued. In an instant, the restaurant, which had been almost full, had become cold. One by one, the cultivators had already left. After hearing about the immortal ascension stage, all of them wanted to get their hands on it. However, although Murong Yu and his table were shocked, they did not move. Can the two of you tell me more about the immortal ascension stage? Murong Yu was only shocked by the reappearance of the immortal ascension stage. He quickly calmed down. Don't tell me you don't have any plans? Little Ape King looked at Murong Yu suspiciously. What plans? Murong Yu was stunned. The immortal ascension stage did not have any treasures. What plans could he have? Little Ape King and Little Lion King looked at each other. Then, Little Lion King said, "The immortal ascension stage is a bridge that connects the cultivation world to the immortal realm. You can enter the immortal realm without ascending. Don't tell me you don't want to go to the immortal realm?" Murong Yu shook his head and laughed. "I haven't even gone through the 49 heavenly tribulations. I'm only in the tribulation passing stage. This little bit of strength is nothing in the cultivation world. If I go to the immortal realm, wouldn't it be easy?" "Do you really think so?" Little Ape King continued to ask. Murong Yu rolled his eyes. "What else can I do? Don't forget, I've only been cultivating for a dozen years. I have plenty of time to cultivate. I will eventually have a chance to enter the immortal realm." Murong Yu had only been cultivating for less than 20 years. He already had such terrifying strength. Most importantly, he still had 10 million years of lifespan. If he could not ascend with 10 million years of lifespan, Murong Yu could slit his own throat and not live anymore. Therefore, when he heard about the immortal ascension stage, he was only shocked. He did not think much of it. Although the two of us are not as crazy as you, we don't have to think about the immortal ascension stage. It's only interesting if you ascend on your own." Little Ape King laughed. Murong Yu wasn't surprised. With the aptitudes of these two fellows, if they couldn't ascend, then no one in the cultivation world could. "However, I think the immortal ascension stage will be very lively. I'm afraid all the old monsters in the cultivation world will come out." Murong Yu laughed. The old monsters had always been in seclusion to cultivate and transform their bodies. Now that the immortal ascension stage had appeared, wouldn't they all jump out? After all, many of the old monsters were nearing the end of their lives. Now that there was an opportunity to ascend, who would not want to seize it? I heard that the giant ape king is also trying to ascend to the immortal realm. He should be going this time, right? Murong Yu had heard that the giant ape king was nearing the end of his life. Otherwise, why would the giant ape king not react when little ape king had been chased by Deng Hualin for a few months? Little ape king frowned. He knew the giant ape king's situation better than everyone else. Just as outsiders had said, the giant ape king was indeed trying to ascend to the immortal ascension stage because he was nearing the end of his life. If he succeeded, he would ascend. If he failed, his soul would be destroyed. When he heard that the immortal ascension stage had appeared, little ape king knew that the giant ape king would definitely go. After all, this might be his only chance. Everyone, are you interested in seeing what the legendary immortal ascension stage looks like? Little ape king looked at Murong Yu and the others and asked, "What's there to see?" The immortal realm is nothing special. The large black dog, who had been eating diligently, suddenly said. He had come from the immortal realm. Although he had been young, he knew much more about the immortal realm than people in the cultivation world. Large black dog, can this immortal ascension stage really connect to the immortal realm? Murong Yu asked. Of course it can. However, those who are not strong enough will only be courting death if they enter the immortal realm, the large black dog said disdainfully. No matter what world one was in, strength was everything. When cultivators entered the immortal realm, they would be killed at every step. Even immortal Emperor Zhu Xian and the heavenly demon god had fallen, let alone these weak cultivators. However, so what if the immortal realm was 100 times more dangerous than the cultivation world? Cultivators still wanted to enter the immortal realm for a longer lifespan and strength. This was especially true for powerful cultivators like Murong Yu. Even the immortal realm was not their final stage. The immortal ascension stage must be very lively. If we don't join in the fun, won't it be much quieter? Murong Yu smiled slightly. Alright, then let's join in the fun. Little Lion King and Little Ape King were also very excited. Xianyang City was one of the 5 great cities of the cultivation world. It was located in the north of the cultivation world. After many days of traveling, Murong Yu and the others finally appeared in Xianyang City. Because of the relationship between Little Ape King and Little Lion King, Murong Yu did not use the Hichu Luoshu to teleport directly. Instead, he flew directly over. The cultivation world is too big. After entering Xianyang City, Murong Yu rolled his eyes. He had never traveled so far before. It's not too bad. At least no one chased us along the way. Back then, I was chased by that old bastard Deng Hualin for a few months. I went around all 5 major cities in the cultivation world. The little ape king was still gnashing his teeth when he talked about being chased. Obviously, being chased for so long had left a shadow in Little Ape King's heart. Little Lion King patted Little Ape King's shoulder and said with a smile, "Next time, remember to let me know. I'll watch from the sidelines." Scram! Little Ape King glared at him. Because of the immortal ascension stage, Xianyang City, which was also one of the 5 great cities, was dozens of times more lively than the southern Desolation City. The strong ones were first-step immortals and even half-step immortals. The weak ones were foundation establishment stage and revolving reflection stage cultivators. Little Ape King frowned and said, "The immortal ascension stage is in the extreme north of the cultivation world. With our speed, it would take us a month to get there." Fly at full speed for a month? Murong Yu was speechless. They were all super powerhouses of the younger generation. Their strength was comparable to first-step immortals, but with their speed, they still needed to fly for such a long time. Of course, if Murong Yu was alone, it would not take so long. However, although Little Ape King and the others were not slow, they were still no match for Morongyu. Young Master Morongyu, long time no see. At that moment, a voice that was like the sound of nature, but with a hint of charm, sounded in the ears of Morongyu and the others. At the same time, a group of people slowly walked in front of them. Chapter 301. In front of Morongyu, a group of people slowly walked over. Everyone was surrounding one of the women like stars surrounding the moon. She was a beautiful woman with a fiery figure that could charm all living things. Beside the woman were a dozen young men. Most of these men were not weak, and the weakest was at the tribulation stage. They should be the outstanding disciples of the younger generation of various large sects and forces. However, these so-called young elites were all looking at the woman with infatuation. At this moment, the woman was looking at Morongyu with a beautiful smile, causing the surrounding men to be even more infatuated. Morongyu smiled faintly. Zhao Jiqing's beauty was even more beautiful than the woman in front of him. Although the woman was beautiful, Morongyu was not a lecherous person. Hence, he directly ignored her beauty. Beauty who, long time no see. You've become more beautiful, Morongyu said with a faint smile. Hutong's face revealed a trace of resentment as she glared at Morongyu and said faintly, "It's a pity that you still don't care." Hutong, the beauty ranked fourth on the 100-flower list. Usually, she would be accompanied by a few young elite. However, Hutong had never been nice to these people. She didn't even look at them. However, today, Hutong actually took the initiative to greet a man. Furthermore, looking at her resentment, it was as if the man had wronged her. Immediately, one of the young elites couldn't help but jump out. "Brat, who are you? How dare you?" Morongyu didn't even look at this so-called young elite. The fire-eyed golden ape beside him took a step forward and shouted coldly, "Bastard, you're courting death." Seeing a person who seemed to be the same as him walk out, this young elite who had reached the transformation stage shouted with a face full of killing intent. He was just worrying about how to win Hutong's favor when the fire-eyed golden ape jumped out. He was wondering if he should kill this ape to win Hutong's favor. As the thought flashed through his mind, the young man took a step forward and punched the fire-eyed golden ape. Bang! The fire-eyed golden ape looked at the young man with disdain and sent him flying with a kick. In the void, the young man spat out blood before falling onto the street in the distance. It seemed that he would not be able to survive. The fire-eyed golden ape coldly glanced at these people, then took a few steps back and stood behind Morongyu again. It was as if nothing had happened. The surrounding people were shocked as they looked at the fire-eyed golden ape in shock. He was well aware of the strength of the young man from before. The other party had already reached the mid-transformation stage. However, the mid-metamorphosis stage cultivator was sent flying by the fire-eyed golden ape's kick. Fire-eyed golden ape, just how terrifying is your strength? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air and involuntarily took a few steps back in fright. A half-immortal bullying a transformation stage cultivator, how awe-inspiring. At this moment, a disdainful voice sounded. Before he finished speaking, a group of people slowly walked over. The one who spoke was the young man who was about 25 or 26 years old. He's at least a half-immortal. Morongyu's pupils constricted. This person was definitely not old and should be the leader of the younger generation. To reach the half-immortal realm at such a young age, he was probably a genius nurtured by a large sect. His ranking on the Dragon Phoenix list should not be low. Morongyu frowned slightly and looked at the little ape king unhappily. He asked, "Who is this idiot?" Hearing this, Hui Tianyi frowned slightly as a cold killing intent flashed past. He's also an expert of the younger generation. He's about the same as you guys. He's the 10th on the Dragon Phoenix list, Hui Tianyi. The little ape king did not know either. Just as he was about to speak, Hutong said with a smile, "The top disciple of the Yuan Su sect, who's 10th on the Dragon Phoenix list?" Murong Yu, the little Ape King, and the little Lion King looked at each other, then laughed and said, "I don't know him, never heard of him." Hui Tiany's eyes flashed with killing intent. He was the top disciple of the Yuan Su sect, a super expert of the younger generation who was ranked 10th on the Dragon Phoenix list. Usually, he was high and mighty. Even those experts of the older generation were polite when they saw him. They did not dare to be rude or be too slow. However, the three people in front of him were naked. They were looking down on him, which made him very angry. In fact, whether it was Murong Yu, the little Ape King, or the little Lion King, they all had the strength to look down on Hui Tiany. After all, their rankings on the Dragon Phoenix list were much higher than his. Their true strength was not inferior. Hui Tiany suppressed the endless killing intent in his heart. His cold eyes slowly swept across the little Ape King and the others. Then, he stared at Murong Yu and said with a cold voice filled with killing intent, "You're Murong Yu? Murong Yu?" Hearing Hui Tiany's words, the so-called young elites who were originally following Hu Tong could not help but take a few steps back. They all looked at Murong Yu with pale faces. This was a great demon who had even killed a one-step immortal. They actually wanted to offend him just now. Were they not courting death? Fortunately, Murong Yu didn't bicker with them. Otherwise, they'd be deader than dead. Therefore, a young elite secretly ran away. Following that, everyone else ran away one after another. This made Hu Tong, who saw this scene, feel a little helpless. Even if she could not drive these flies away, when she recognized Murong Yu's identity, they were all scared away. Murong Yu glanced at Hu Tong and then said to the little Ape King and the others, "Let's go." Before he finished speaking, he was about to leave. He did not even look at Hui Tiany and directly ignored him. This made Hui Tiany furious. Because of anger, he was so angry that his whole body was trembling. Traces of uncontrollable cold murderous intent seeped out of his body. It was very terrifying. So the so-called great demon Murong Yu is only SOSO. You don't even dare to admit your identity in front of me. Hui Tiany tried hard to suppress the anger and murderous intent in his heart. Then, he looked at Murong Yu and said coldly. Murong Yu paused and then looked at Hui Tiany with disdain and said, "Do I know you? Who do you think you are? I even killed Ma Tianyun and a one-step immortal. Who do you think you are? Do you believe that I won't kill you?" Originally, Murong Yu did not have a good impression of Yuan Su sect. Back at the Demon Mountain, Yuan Su sect's sect master wanted to attack him. Later on, he also wanted Murong Yu for a long time. Although his hatred for Murong Yu was not as serious as Zushenzong's, it was not light either. When he saw Hui Tiany, Murong Yu did not immediately attack him. This was already a loss of face for Yuan Su sect. Now, this ignorant fool dared to provoke him. This made Murong Yu's murderous intent soar. Hui Tiany was so angry that his whole body trembled. He pointed at Murong Yu and the murderous intent that he had suppressed before suddenly erupted. It rushed into the sky and was very terrifying. "You what? If you don't get out of my way, I will kill you even in Xianyang City." Murong Yu also revealed his murderous intent. While speaking, Little Ape King and Little Lion King also stepped forward and released their powerful auras to lock onto Hui Tiany. If Hui Tiany dared to attack, the two of them did not mind joining forces to kill him. Even a one-step immortal was no match for the three of them. They did not believe that Hui Tiany was stronger than a one-step immortal. "Good. Very good, I will remember you." Feeling Murong Yu's and the other two's murderous intent, Hui Tiany took a deep breath before glaring at Murong Yu with incomparably venomous eyes. If Murong Yu was alone, he would definitely kill Murong Yu. Although Murong Yu was strong, he was not weak either. Moreover, he had a protector. He refused to believe that they wouldn't be able to kill Murong Yu if they joined hands. However, there was still Little Ape King and Little Lion King. These two guys were very strong and had a strong background. Although Hui Tiany was arrogant, he did not dare to attack the two of them at the same time. Moreover, Hutong of the demon clan was watching from the side. If he dared to attack, he would probably die here today. Even if he had a protector, the result would not be changed. Disappear automatically the next time you see me. Otherwise I will kill you. Murong Yu looked at Hui Tianyi and sneered. Then, he left. Looking at the backs of Murong Yu and the others, Hui Tianyi's murderous intent grew stronger. The hatred in his eyes grew more terrifying. One day, I will kill you. The little Lion King slapped Murong Yu's shoulder and laughed. Motherf *cur. I thought I was arrogant enough, but it turns out that you're even more arrogant than me. Murong Yu only said indifferently, why should I be polite to someone who is my enemy? There will be a battle with Yuan Su sect sooner or later. Moreover, Hui Tianyi is not a threat to me. If it were not for his protector's relationship with Xianyang City, I would have killed him long ago. It seems like Hui Tianyi is also going to the Immortal Ascension stage. Why don't we kill him on the way? Little Ape King came over and said with a sinister smile. Good idea. Murong Yu nodded. He felt that Little Ape King's idea was to his liking. Thus, the three of them, along with the fire-eyed golden ape and the big black dog, the two scourges, put their arms around each other's shoulders and started to plan how to kill Hui Tianyi and his protector. Hutong, who was following behind them, slapped her forehead with a helpless expression. With these 5 scourges together, Hui Tianyi is probably going to be in for a tragedy. I don't know what will happen to the cultivation world because of them. The 5 of them were not weaker than half immortals. Moreover, they were all outstanding talents of the younger generation. Most importantly, they were all people who wished for the world to be in chaos. When such people gathered together, even if it was the sky, they would be able to poke a hole in it. Right, Hutong, do you want to come with us? Murong Yu turned to look at Hutong and smiled. No, I will go to the Immortal Ascension stage to take a look. Hutong even regretted coming with them. Chapter 302. In the end, Hutong stayed with Murong Yu and the rest in the same inn in Xianyang City. Because of the reappearance of the Immortal Ascension stage, and because Xianyang City was one of the 5 cities closest to the Immortal Ascension stage, there were more and more cultivators in Xianyang City. In the end, all the inns in Xianyang City were full. Those who came later had no place to stay and could only sleep outside. One could imagine how tempting the Immortal Ascension stage was. The Immortal Ascension stage was located in the extreme north of the cultivation world. Because it was too desolate, there were very few people there. Even cultivators rarely went there. This was because that place was full of dangers. Therefore, many cultivators would replenish their resources in Xianyang City before entering the extreme north. At one point, all the pills in Xianyang City were almost sold out. At this time, Murong Yu and the rest appeared in the largest inn in Xianyang City. Apart from them, Hui Tianyi, whom he had met once before, was also here. The Limitless Sword Sect's Holy Son Xueqin, the Joyful Union Sect's first disciple Luo Yi, the Mystic Moon Sect's first disciple Zhong Li Lin. Basically, all the young cultivators who were at the top of the Dragon Phoenix list were here. Apart from Li Su and Little Peng King, who were first and second on the Dragon Phoenix list, the rest of the top 10 cultivators were here. Of course, the original 8th cultivator, Ma Tianyun, had been killed by Murong Yu. Apart from these people, the young cultivators of the various large sects had also appeared. The first disciples, holy sons, and holy daughters were all gathered in this small inn. Even the holy sons and holy daughters of the hidden fairy valley had appeared. However, Murong Yu did not see Zhao Jiqing in the hidden fairy valley. She probably did not come. Waves of killing intent came from all directions, pressing down on Murong Yu's body. It was as if they wanted to kill him. However, Murong Yu acted as if he didn't feel anything. He knew very well that it was none other than Xuechen and Hui Tianyi who had released these killing intent. These large sects all had enmity with Murongyu. If it was not the young generation's elites that were killed by Murongyu, then many of their sect's half-immortals were killed by Murongyu. Seeing the hatred and murderous gazes directed at Murongyu, they continued to stare at him. The little Ape King, Little Lion King, Hu Tong, and the others who were sitting at the same table as Murongyu felt extremely pressured. Those were all experts of the younger generation, although they were not afraid of them at all. However, Murongyu had offended almost all of them, which gave them a lot of pressure. Sometimes they'd even wonder why Murongyu still had more enemies than them, even though they'd been ranked far ahead of Murongyu in the past. Thinking that Murongyu had provoked 8 of the 10 great sects, the little Ape King and the others sweated in their hearts. Murongyu, it seems like a lot of people want to kill you. The little Ape King poured a jar of wine into his mouth, then loudly said to Murongyu. Murongyu indifferently glanced at the cultivators in the restaurant with a disdainful expression. If they dare to make a move here, I don't mind killing them all. Looking down on everyone, they were incomparably arrogant and looked down on everyone. Even though these were the most outstanding disciples of the large sects, after hearing Murongyu's words, they couldn't help but become furious and their killing intent soared. In the corner of the restaurant, there were disciples of the hidden fairy valley. Because Li Su didn't appear, the ones who came to Xianyang City this time were their sect's Saint Sun and Saintess. The Saintess was the number 1 on the 100-flower list, Li Sisi. At this moment, after hearing Murongyu's words, her eyes under the white veil couldn't help but reveal traces of splendor. On the other side, the chief disciple of the Mystic Moon sect, Zhong Lilin, also looked at Murongyu curiously. All along, the Mystic Moon sect and Murongyu had maintained a good relationship, and there hadn't been any conflicts. Therefore, as the chief disciple of the Mystic Moon sect, Zhong Lilin, who was ranked 9th on the Dragon Phoenix list, didn't have any hostility towards Murongyu. She was just extremely interested in this legendary man. At this moment, Zhong Lilin's beautiful eyes were looking straight at Murongyu, as if she wanted to see what kind of person Murongyu was. He's just someone with an undeserved reputation. To be on the Dragon Phoenix list with him really makes us feel ashamed. Hui Tianyi, who was beside her, was still angry in his heart. He sneered with killing intent. Murongyu glanced at him indifferently. I don't know who made the Dragon Phoenix list back then. With your mediocre skills, you can enter the 10th place on the list. You must be blind. Ha ha ha. As soon as Murongyu finished speaking, everyone in the restaurant burst into laughter. The people present were all the elites of the younger generation of the various sections. Moreover, all the sects were at odds with each other on the surface. Now that they heard that Murongyu was targeting Hui Tianyi, they naturally added insult to injury and jeered. Hui Tianyi was furious. He looked at Murongyu with killing intent and slammed the table. Murongyu, I want to duel with you. Murongyu's face was full of disdain. What qualifications do you have to duel with me? Are you stronger than Ma Tianyun? Are you stronger than the one-step immortal of the Tianji sect, Deng Hualin? Hui Tianyi was furious. His murderous aura surged out and swept towards Murongyu. At this moment, another young expert in the same restaurant was glaring at Murongyu with a venomous expression. He was the chief disciple of the Tianji sect, Chao Hongyan. The Tianji sect's sacred son, He Yu, was killed by the young Ape King. On the other hand, He Yu's protector, the one-step immortal Deng Hualin, was killed by Murongyu and the young Ape King. This caused the Tianji sect to suffer a great loss. They were even mocked by everyone in the cultivation world. Now, at this time, Murongyu was still trampling on the dignity of the Tianji sect. This made him very angry. Bang! Chao Hongyan slammed the table and stood up. He glared at Murongyu. Murongyu, you despicable and shameless person. If it weren't for your tricks, how could you have killed the one-step immortal of the Tianji sect? Murong Yu was stunned when he saw the young man glaring at him with murderous intent, his eyes spitting fire. It was as if he wanted to kill him. Who is this guy? Murong Yu turned to look at Hu Tong. At the same time, the young Lion King, young Ape King, and the others also looked at Hu Tong. They didn't know her either. Seeing this, Chao Hongyan was completely enraged. The chief disciple of the Tianji sect, Chao Hongyan, Hu Tong glared at Murong Yu with her beautiful eyes, as if blaming him for causing trouble. Oh, so it's the chief disciple of the Tianji sect. Murong Yu shook his head and looked at Chao Hongyan. We have already killed the one-step immortal and the one-step immortal of the Tianji sect. Why don't we kill the chief disciple as well? Young Ape King looked at Murong Yu and the others with a look of discussion. Arrogant, too arrogant. Everyone in the restaurant looked at Murong Yu and the others. They felt like they were going crazy. These scourges were really not afraid of the Tianji sect, one of the top 10 sections. Not only did they kill the one-step immortal and the one-step immortal, they even wanted to kill the chief disciple of the Tianji sect. Could it be that they wanted to kill all the outstanding disciples of the younger generation of the Tianji sect? If that was really the case, the Tianji sect would probably use all their strength to hunt down Murong Yu and the others. However, if Murong Yu really dared to make a move, these outstanding disciples of the other sects would also do the same. After all, they couldn't wait for all the outstanding disciples of the other sects to die. If it wasn't for their misgivings, why would they still be sitting in the same restaurant? They would probably have already started a fight. You're all courting death. Chao Hongyan was enraged. The veins on his forehead bulged as he looked at Murong Yu and the others with murderous intent. Murong Yu, you killed the chief disciple of Zhushenzong, Ma Tianyun. Young Ape King, you killed the one-step immortal of the Tianji sect, He Yu. Among the three of us, I'm the only one who doesn't have such a glorious record. Why don't you give this Chao something to me? Otherwise, the gap between us is too big. I won't feel good about it. Young Lion King suddenly said. Hearing young Lion King's words, the cultivators in the restaurant spat out their wine. The three of them were all talent. They actually dared to compete with the one-step immortal by killing the chief disciple of the other sects? Chao Hongyan, on the other hand, was furious. He felt that he had been completely ignored. With his strength, he wasn't even placed in Murong Yu's eyes. This made him very angry. Although he was slightly stronger than He Yu, he was still a super expert ranked 25th on the Dragon Phoenix list. He also had his dignity as an expert. However, his dignity was so laughable in the eyes of Murong Yu and the others. This was because Murong Yu and the others didn't take him seriously at all. Young Ape King looked at young Lion King with disdain. Do you think you can compare to the two of us after killing this Chao Hongyan? At least you have to kill that Hui Tianyi. Young Ape King looked at Hui Tianyi with disdain as he spoke. Haha, that's not impossible. However, you have to block his protector for me. Young Lion King laughed. He actually didn't take Hui Tianyi seriously at all. Okay. When the time comes, you kill Hui Tianyi. Then we'll kill his protector. Murong Yu said with a laugh. Seeing the three of them talking about the life and death of the most outstanding disciple of the younger generation and even discussing how to kill a one-step immortal, the others in the restaurant were speechless. These three fellows must be crazy. However, they had the strength to be crazy. As for Hui Tianyi and Chao Hongyan, they were almost angered to death at this moment. All of them looked at Murong Yu with incomparable resentment, wondering if they should go up and kill Murong Yu and the others. However, Murong Yu and the other two had even killed a one-step immortal when they joined forces, so they were a little worried. Moreover, at this moment, Murong Yu had Hu Tong by his side. One had to know that Hu Tong was not only a super beauty ranked 4th on the 100 flower list, but her strength was also ranked 7th on the Dragon Phoenix list. The strength of the 4 people in the top 10 of the Dragon Phoenix list combined could even sweep away a first-rate force. With Hui Tianyi's strength and his protector, They were no match for Murong Yu and the others at all. Moreover, there was also the fire-eyed golden ape and the big black dog, who were also not weak. Chapter 303. The northernmost region of the cultivation realm was fraught with danger. Usually, there were no cultivators around. However, ever since the news of the reappearance of the Immortal Ascension platform spread, countless cultivators flocked to the northernmost region. Regardless of whether it was the younger generation of the various sects, or the older generation of the various forces, especially the older generation of cultivators who had been cultivating behind closed doors, all came out of their nests and flocked towards the Immortal Ascension platform. After all, if they could enter the immortal realm through the Immortal Ascension platform, their lifespan and strength would increase exponentially. If they couldn't enter the immortal realm, then their lifespan would gradually deplete. As for the younger generation of cultivators, many of them wanted to enter the immortal realm through the Immortal Ascension platform. As for people like Murong Yu, they wanted to broaden their horizons. It seems like we're being watched. On the way, Murong Yu, Little Ape King, Little Lion King, and Hu Tong had left Xianyang City for 3 days. With their speed, they were already tens of thousands of miles away from Xianyang City. With their combined strength, even a first step immortal wouldn't dare to provoke them. However, they felt that they had been targeted ever since they left Xianyang City. Could it be Hui Tianyi or Chao Hongyan? Little Lion King's face revealed a trace of excitement. He didn't feel like he was being watched. It was as if he couldn't wait for Hui Tianyi and the others to attack. Maybe. Murong Yu's eyes flashed with killing intent. They didn't think Hui Tianyi or Chao Hongyan would be a threat to them. However, the fact that they were being watched made him angry. Let's finish them off before we continue. Murong Yu stopped and said in a low voice. Everyone else nodded in agreement. However, what infuriated Murong Yu and the others was that when they stopped, the people who were watching them also stopped and didn't reveal themselves. You're asking for it. A cold glint flashed through Murong Yu's eyes as he coldly snorted. His figure flashed as he took a step forward and disappeared from where he stood. Boom! At the same time, in the void tens of thousands of miles away from them, a monstrous hand carrying a terrifying aura slammed down on a mountain. We've been discovered. Hui Tianyi's expression changed slightly, and he also punched out. Boom! The power of the two sides collided violently in the void and then exploded. Instantly, the void with the collision as the center was shattered. The terrifying impact was like a tidal wave, crazily surged in all directions, shattering the void in its wake. In an instant, the endless mountain range on the ground was shattered, and several figures soared into the sky. Whoosh! 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 When the Little Ape King and the others saw that Murong Yu had forced their pursuers out with a single palm strike, they quickly teleported to Murong Yu's side and looked ahead. Hui Tianyi, Chao Hongyan. Other than the two of them, there were 2 other elders who emitted powerful auras. The 2 Immortal Ascension, Immortal followed behind Hui Tianyi and Chao Hongyan. They should be their guardians. 2 Immortals in the first step. Murong Yu's eyes narrowed. Little Lion King and Little Lion King's faces turned solemn. 2 Immortals in the first step were enough to suppress them. 2 shameless people colluded together. TSK, equally shameless. Little Lion King took a step forward and sneered at Hui Tianyi and the other 3. It's enough to kill you. Hui Tianyi looked at Murong Yu with resentment and killing intent. Murong Yu was shocked. He did not expect Hui Tianyi and Chao Hongyan to be so bold as to kill Murong Yu and the others. Murong Yu was alone and did not have any backing. It was not surprising that they dared to kill him. However, Little Lion King and Little Lion King were Hu Tong, and they were one of the 10 great demon kings of Demon Mountain. Did these 2 really want to kill them? Were they not afraid of angering the demon kings? If that was the case, the Fecta sect and Yuan Su sect would not be able to withstand the anger of the 3 demon kings. I'm curious. What makes you think you can kill us? Do you really think that you can kill all of us with just the few of you? You should know that they have the Demon King of Demon Mountain behind them. Morong Yu looked at Hui Tianyi and said indifferently, 2 immortals in the first step are enough to kill you. As for the Demon King behind them, I just need to kill you and say that you killed each other. Who would suspect me? Hui Tianyi sneered. Good plan. Little Lion King took a step forward and looked at Hui Tianyi and the others with murderous intent. I can fight against a first-step immortal by myself. How about you? Morong Yu turned to Little Lion King and the others and said, Little Lion King and I can also fight against a first-step immortal. Little Lion King and Little Ape King looked at each other and said, although they were not as strong as a first-step immortal, they were not far off. Otherwise, Little Lion King would not have been chased by a first-step immortal for several months without being killed. Morong Yu nodded and looked at Hu Tong. I'm confident that I can kill either Hui Tianyi or Chao Hongyan. Hu Tong said indifferently. Killing intent surged from her words. It was obvious that she wanted to kill. After all, the other party wanted to kill them all. As the descendant of the nine-tailed king, Hu Tong was not a soft-hearted person. Since that's the case, you suppress Hui Tianyi. Big Black Dog, Golden Ape, I'll leave Chao Hongyan to the 2 of you. If you can't kill him within the time it takes for a stick of incense to burn, don't say that you know me. Woof! You think too highly of that idiot. I alone can kill him. There was a look of disdain on the large black dog's face as he looked at Chao Hongyan. Fight quickly. You 2 kill Chao Hongyan first, then help Hu Tong kill Hui Tianyi. Then, we'll work together and kill their 2 protectors. Morong Yu said coldly. Okay. A look of excitement appeared on everyone's faces. When they heard Morong Yu's words, Hui Tianyi and the others were furious. They all looked at Morong Yu and the others with livid expressions. This was especially true for Chao Hongyan and Hui Tianyi. From the tone of Morong Yu and the others, he could feel naked contempt. Even the 2 protectors could not help but be filled with killing intent at this moment. A first-step immortal was a first-step immortal after all. They were looked down upon by a few juniors today. How could they not be angry? Attack! Morong Yu shouted loudly. He took a step forward and rushed in front of Hui Tianyi's protector. Then, he threw a punch at him. At the same time, the others also locked on to their targets and started to fight. Rumble! In the battle between the peerless powerhouses, terrifying power swept across the sky. The void was constantly shattered, and the ground was also bombarded to the point that it sank. It was as if the world was turned upside down. You're courting death. Sun Feng, Hui Tianyi's protector, shouted angrily and also threw a punch at Morong Yu. The power of both sides collided, and they were sent flying violently. I don't know if I'm courting death or not, but you guys are courting death. Today you will die without a doubt. Morong Yu sneered and began to increase his power to the limit. Suddenly, waves of black chaotic power surrounded him tightly. Waves of terrifying aura burst out like a torrent. It was extremely terrifying. 1,000 Army Elephant Fist. Morong Yu roared as he took a step forward and arrived in front of Sun Feng. His fist smashed through the air as he ruthlessly aimed for Sun Feng's head. Sun Feng was shocked when he felt the terrifying aura of Morong Yu. This aura was enough to threaten him. At that moment, he no longer underestimated Morong Yu. He also began to increase his strength as a one-step immortal and attacked Morong Yu. Today you will be the first one-step immortal that I will kill alone. Morong Yu roared and completely unleashed his powerful strength. He began to fight with Sun Feng. On the other side, the Little Lion King and the Little Ape King also unleashed their powerful strength and intercepted Chao Hongyan's protector. They fought until the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The 3 of them used all their ultimate moves, causing the world to constantly shatter. It was extremely terrifying, as expected of the top 10 experts on the Dragon Phoenix list. When the two of them joined forces, they were actually on par with a one-step immortal. Meanwhile, the battle between Hu Tong and Hui Tianyi was extremely dangerous. This was the first time that Morongyu had seen Hu Tong fight. However, Hu Tong's strength shocked Morongyu. As soon as the battle started, Hui Tianyi, who was ranked 10th on the Dragon Phoenix list, was suppressed by Hu Tong. If it weren't for the fact that Hui Tianyi's strength wasn't weak and that he also had the ultimate skills of his sect, he would have been killed by Hu Tong long ago. However, even so, he was still suffering greatly from Hu Tong's attacks. It was only a matter of time before he was defeated. After all the battles, the battle between the large black dog and the fire-eyed golden ape was the most relaxed. These two guys teamed up and directly killed Chao Hongyan, the chief disciple of the Fecta sect, who was ranked 25th on the Dragon Phoenix list. One had obtained the inheritance of a heavenly demon god, while the other was an ancient mutant beast, the heavenly dog. Both of them possessed extremely terrifying battle prowess. Moreover, Chao Hongyan's strength was the weakest among the people present. Even if he faced the fire-eyed golden ape and the large black dog separately, he was still no match for them, let alone the two of them working together. As soon as the battle started, Chao Hongyan fell into danger. Moreover, the large black dog and the fire-eyed golden ape weren't kind people, either. They loved to hit others when they were down. Pung, pung, pung. The two of them roared repeatedly, killing Chao Hongyan until he had no temper and fled in all directions. In less than 15 minutes, Chao Hongyan had already been injured. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. They were stunned by the fire-eyed golden ape and the large black dog's strength. In particular, Chao Hongyan's protector roared repeatedly, wanting to break free from the little ape king and the small black dog's entanglement and rush over to save him. However, how could the little lion king and the small black dog let them escape? No matter how he roared, he was still firmly entangled by the little ape king and the little lion king, unable to break free. Chapter 304. Bang! As the fiery golden ape's staff smashed down, the head of Chao Hongyan, the chief disciple of the Fecta sect, exploded into a cloud of blood mist. After the saint child of the Tianji sect was killed by the little ape king, their chief disciple was also killed by someone else. Now, two of the three most outstanding disciples of the Fecta sect's younger generation had been killed. If the saint of the Fecta sect was also killed, then the most outstanding disciples of the Fecta sect's younger generation would all be killed. The saint and the chief disciple were killed one after another. If this news spread out, it would probably cause a commotion in the cultivation world. After all, in the past, the top figures of the younger generation of the major sects would never die. In the end, those experts either became the sect masters of their respective sects or became the elders of their respective sections. Of course, it did not mean that they would never die. They would die because they were training or killed by other dangers. It was not like they were killed by the experts of other sections. The saint and the chief disciple were both killed. This kind of thing had not happened in the cultivation world for many years. If today's news spread out, the Fecta sect would probably go crazy. All of you will die. He was furious when he saw Chao Hongyan being killed by the ape while his protector was entangled by the little ape king and lion king. He couldn't help Chao Hongyan at all. That's right, all of you will die. The little ape king sneered and increased the strength in his hands. However, because of his fury, Chao Hongyan's protector's strength actually increased. This made the little ape king and the little lion king feel a lot of pressure. There were even a few times where he almost escaped from the encirclement. Seeing that the little ape king and the big black dog had already rushed to Hu Tong's side and started attacking Hui Tianyi together with Hu Tong, the little ape king and the little lion king relaxed. As long as they killed Hui Tianyi, there would be 3 more experts on their side. At that time, the 5 of them could join forces and kill this one-step immortal. The little Ape King and the little Lion King became more and more excited at the thought of killing another one-step immortal. Their battle intent soared to the sky and the earth cracked. Hui Tiany's strength was inferior to Hu Tong's in the first place. In his battle with Hu Tong, he was in great danger and was almost killed several times. Moreover, after the large black dog and the fire-eyed golden ape joined the fray, Hui Tiany encountered an unprecedented crisis. Bang! The fire-eyed golden ape took a step forward and teleported behind Hui Tiany. Then, it struck Hui Tiany's head with its staff. This guy was getting more and more fond of sneak attacks, and he was getting more and more skilled. Even Hui Tiany almost fell for it, and his head was almost smashed into pieces. Hui Tiany teleported away from the fire-eyed golden ape's attack and punched at it. However, at this moment the void shattered, and a huge dog paw broke through the obstruction of the void, viciously slamming towards him. Hui Tiany roared angrily, and the fist that had been attacking the fire-eyed golden ape ruthlessly shattered the dog's paw, sending the large black dog flying. Although the large black dog was powerful, there was still some gap between him and Hui Tiany. Thus, he was directly sent flying back. However, he was only forced back, and was not injured at all. Hui Tiany was enraged, and teleported, wanting to rush up and kill the large black dog. However, Hu Tong appeared in front of him, a small, crystalline hand shattering the void, and lightly slapped towards him. Hui Tiany's expression was grave. Hu Tong's small hand was light and looked like it did not have any strength. However, if he was hit by her, even Hui Tiany would be severely injured. This was a lesson learned from the past. Bang! He exchanged another blow with Hu Tong, and then both of them were really sent flying. Bang! Bang! The void shattered, and Hui Tiany had not steadied himself yet when the fire-eyed golden ape and the large black dog's attacks had already landed. The terrifying power shattered the void, forcing Hui Tiany to take it head-on. Hui Tiany spat out a mouthful of blood wildly. Under the joint attack of the three people, he was directly beaten until he vomited blood. Although he was powerful, he was no match for Hu Tong and the other two at all. Especially Chao Hongyan's death made him very shocked. At this time, Hui Tiany was very regretful. He originally thought that with their strength and the strength of the two one-step immortals, it would be enough to kill Murong Yu and the others. However, he did not expect Murong Yu and the others to be so powerful. Chao Hongyan's strength was also very strong, but he was killed by the seemingly unremarkable large black dog and the fire-eyed golden ape in less than half an hour. Hu Tong's strength was also slightly stronger than his. The little Lion King and the little Ape King's joint attack could actually tie with a one-step immortal. However, what shocked Hui Tiany the most was Murong Yu. Murong Yu's strength was actually not inferior to Sun Feng's. One had to know that Sun Feng was a veteran one-step immortal. Originally, he had already overestimated Murong Yu, but after seeing Murong Yu's strength, he realized that he had still underestimated Murong Yu's strength. Otherwise, with his original plan, with the strength of the two one-step immortals and the two of them, he would have killed Murong Yu and the others long ago. This time, with Chao Hongyan's death, even if he was lucky enough to escape with his life, it would probably incur the wrath of the Fecta sect. After all, this time, he had taken the initiative to join forces with Chao Hongyan to kill Murong Yu and the others. Sun Feng, fight quickly and kill Murong Yu. Hui Tiany was in danger again and could not hold on much longer. Sun Feng also knew that Murong Yu was too strong. Under his storm-like attacks, he could not free himself to save Hui Tiany at all. Under Murong Yu's attacks, he was also in danger. Even if he was distracted for a moment, he could be killed by Murong Yu. Great Vajra Wheel Seal. Murong Yu roared in his heart and struck out a huge handprint that was like a divine mountain. It shattered the void and ruthlessly smashed towards Sun Feng. At the same time, Murong Yu used the army formula and raised his speed to the limit. He rushed to Sun Feng's side as if he was teleporting, and bombarded Sun Feng with punches and palms. Sun Feng was badly battered by Murong Yu's attacks, especially Murong Yu's teleportation, which made him curse in his heart. As long as a cultivator reached the tribulation stage, they would naturally comprehend teleportation. However, teleportation also consumed a lot of energy. Ordinary cultivators could not teleport for a long time, but Murong Yu was constantly teleporting, as if he did not need any energy to support it. If it were an ordinary cultivator, they would have been exhausted from teleporting. Seeing Murong Yu constantly teleporting, not only Sun Feng, but also the others were shocked. In particular, the little ape king and the others realized that this was Murong Yu's true speed. Perhaps it was not. However, what Sun Feng and the others did not know was that Murong Yu was not just teleporting. It was a combination of teleportation and the army formula. After the combination of the two, not only did his speed soar, but it was also longer and faster than the teleportation distance of a one-step immortal. Moreover, the consumption was less than half of theirs. Most importantly, during the battle, the hundreds of millions of roots of the Tree of Life in Murong Yu's dantian were constantly waving, transforming the chaotic energy in the void into Murong Yu's power. At this time, although Murong Yu had been increasing his strength to the limit, his power did not show any signs of depletion. It was already in a state of balance between consumption and absorption. Even a one-step immortal could not do this, so one could imagine how terrifying the Tree of Life was. After a round of battle, Sun Feng was already injured, but Murong Yu was still uninjured. In fact, it was not that he was not injured, but after being injured, the power of life gushed out and these injuries quickly recovered. Monster! The more Sun Feng fought, the more frightened he became. His power was being consumed more and more. If he continued to fight like this, he might be killed by Murong Yu. However, seeing that Hui Tianyi was in danger again and again, he was furious. He increased his strength to the limit and crazily attacked Murong Yu. Under Sun Feng's madness, Murong Yu was forced to retreat. "Old man, you're courting death." Murong Yu was furious. With a thought, he took out the yin-yang cauldron, which carried the terrifying yin-yang fire that could burn the world, and attacked Sun Feng. Sun Feng forced Murong Yu to retreat. Just as he was about to teleport to Hui Tianyi's rescue, he suddenly felt an extremely dangerous aura coming toward him. Sun Feng's face changed suddenly. This aura was really terrifying and had locked onto him. If he did not block it, he might be seriously injured or even killed. What the hell? Sun Feng roared and punched upward. Boom! The yin-yang cauldron was like a divine mountain, pressing down and crushing the void. The yin-yang flames that filled the sky enveloped the entire area. Even the space around them was being burned, leaving ghastly holes in its wake. After a shocking explosion, the yin-yang cauldron was directly sent flying into the sky by Sun Feng's terrifying power. However, Sun Feng was also bombarded and flew backward, spitting out blood. It was a pity that the yin-yang flame could not touch Sun Feng. Otherwise, it might have directly burned Sun Feng to ashes. With a thought, Murong Yu attacked again with the yin-yang cauldron. At the same time, an incomparably huge banner appeared above their heads. It was the soul summoning banner. Murong Yu grabbed at the void in front of him with both hands. Immediately, the yin-yang bow and the sky-shaking arrow appeared in his hands. Then, Murong Yu drew the bow and shot an arrow at Sun Feng. At the same time, Murong Yu took a step forward and roared. He used the seventh move of the Dragon-Elephant Prajna technique, the Dark God Prajna technique. Two god phantoms with incomparably terrifying auras suddenly appeared in the void, and then fiercely punched at Sun Feng. The terrifying aura that could destroy heaven and earth was like the attack of two god phantoms. It was extremely terrifying. Chapter 305. Whoosh! An almost invisible black lightning shot out from between Murong Yu's eyebrows. It disappeared into the void and shot toward Sun Feng. yin-yang cauldron, yin-yang fire, soul-summoning banner, sky-shattering arrow, yin-yang bow, dragon elephant prajna skill, great Vajra chakra seal, and black lightning. These attacks were Murong-Yu's most powerful Dharma treasures and combat skills. Now, it poured out in an instant, covering the sky and covering the earth as it rushed towards Sun Feng. Even Sun Feng, a first-step immortal, was shocked when he saw the various attacks and magic treasures coming at him like a tidal wave. His face was solemn and his aura was violent. Divine light shot up into the sky. At the same time, a spiritual weapon divine sword appeared in his hand. Sun Feng furiously roared. Wielding his sword with both hands, he executed a sword technique and attacked Murong-Yu's frightening power. He wanted to break all of Murong-Yu's attacks with one blow. Seeing this, Murong-Yu sneered. These were his most powerful attacks. With Sun Feng's strength, he might be able to break some of them. However, he could not break so many of them at the same time. However, after using all of his most powerful combat skills and Dharma treasures, Murong-Yu felt a sense of emptiness. He had consumed too much energy. Even with the Tree of Life absorbing the chaotic energy, he had consumed more than 80% of his energy. Murong-Yu was helpless. He could only control the Tree of Life to absorb the chaotic energy even more crazily and recover his energy quickly. Murong-Yu was very powerful and was on par with Sun Feng. Sun Feng frowned when he used all of his strength to attack with his combat skills. At this moment, Sun Feng slashed out with his sword. A terrifying aura burst out and shattered the void as he slashed forward. However, just as Sun Feng's attack was about to collide with the yin-yang cauldron and sky-shattering arrow, a strong sense of danger appeared in Sun Feng's heart. Oh no! Sun Feng let out a loud roar and immediately retreated. During this process, he also retracted the power he had unleashed and slashed at the void in front of him. Boom! The terrifying power tore the void into pieces. Pooh! A powerful force carrying the power of thunder and lightning surged over. A numbing feeling appeared on Sun Feng's body, tearing his clothes to shreds. Furthermore, the power of lightning had almost paralyzed his power, causing the circulation of his power to slow down slightly. Sun Feng spat out a mouthful of blood upon receiving this attack, and his entire body was instantly sent flying. Chi! The sky-shaking arrow shot out of the void and turned into a golden light. It shot towards Sun Feng at lightning speed, wanting to kill him. Sun Feng's expression changed drastically when he felt the terrifying power contained in the sky-shaking arrow. In the process of flying backward, he gathered all his strength and slashed at the heaven-shaking arrow. Rumble! A terrifying power erupted, and Sun Feng once again spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying. Furthermore, the terrifying power even sent the spiritual weapon in his hand flying. Sun Feng was horrified and began to circulate his power madly. However, he was shocked to discover that there were traces of black energy flowing through his body. It was rapidly destroying his physical body, and his meridians were also filled with this black energy. Black lightning. Not only was the black lightning destroying his physical body, but it was also destroying his meridians. It was his power. At this moment, Sun Feng's power was only circulating at 50% of his usual speed. With his power circulation blocked, Sun Feng's strength instantly decreased by 50%. This made him extremely shocked. He was shocked by the power of the black lightning. However, his shock could not stop Murong-Yu's attack. The God Fiend punched out, and the terrifying power once again sent Sun Feng flying backward while spitting out blood. The powerful and terrifying power almost shattered Sun Feng's physical body. What made Sun Feng most aggrieved was that the soul-summoning banner was violently swaying above his head. Waves of inexplicable power directly acted on his spiritual meridians, trying to pull his soul out of his body, causing his soul to be in excruciating pain. As a result, Sun Feng could only use less than 40% of his usual strength. Rumble! The yin-yang cauldron was like a divine mountain pressing down rapidly, almost crushing Sun Feng into pieces. Cough cough, Sun Feng spat out a mouthful of blood as he was blasted deep into the ground. Chi-chi, the sharp sound of something breaking through the air was constantly heard. The yin-yang fire spewed out from the yin-yang cauldron, covering a radius of dozens of miles. The void and the earth were directly burned into powder. Sun Feng turned pale with fright, incomparably horrified. He could feel the terror of the yin-yang fire. He knew that if the yin-yang fire got close to him, he would definitely die. Therefore, he desperately used his power to form a shield around his body to resist the burning of the yin-yang fire. As a first step immortal, Sun Feng's strength was very strong. If he used his power to form a shield, even a first step immortal would not be able to break it in a short time. However, it was completely vulnerable in front of the yin-yang fire. Wherever the yin-yang fire passed, Sun Feng's shield would directly burn. Yin-yang cauldron, kill him for me. Murong Yu took a step forward and appeared not far in front of Sun Feng. He pointed his finger, and the yin-yang cauldron immediately pressed down. Puff! At the same time, the sky-shaking arrow that Sun Feng had pushed back earlier shot out again and directly shot one of Sun Feng's legs. The excruciating pain from the broken leg made Sun Feng let out an extremely shrill cry. However, at this time, the black lightning and the soul-summoning banner were still crazily bombarding him, so he could not use half of his strength. Bang! The yin-yang cauldron pressed down and directly smashed Sun Feng's power shield. Once again, Sun Feng was suppressed deep into the ground, almost smashing his body into meat paste. Chi-chi, the moment the power shield was broken, the yin-yang fire that filled the sky rushed straight in. Sun Feng let out a miserable cry. He was directly burned by the yin-yang fire and couldn't be more dead. As soon as Sun Feng died, Murong Yu could not help but stagger and almost fall from the void. This was the first time he had thrown out so many killing moves in an instant. The consumption of power was secondary. The key was that controlling so many Dharma treasures at once exhausted Murong Yu's mental strength. The exhaustion of mental strength and mental strength was more terrifying than the exhaustion of physical strength. Hearing Sun Feng's continuous screams, Hui Tianyi and Chao Hongyan's protector in the distance became more and more shocked. Especially when they saw Sun Feng being killed, they were so shocked that their faces turned pale. Especially Hui Tianyi, he knew Sun Feng's strength. But now, Murong Yu had single-handedly killed him. There were so many people before, and they were no match for them. Now that Sun Feng and Chao Hongyan were killed, the two of them were even less of a match. They were in imminent danger. Hui Tianyi's face was pale. He knew that he had miscalculated this time. It was very likely that he would die here today. However, no one wanted to die. Therefore, even though they were terrified, they roared again and again. Once again, they unleashed an even stronger strength and crazily attacked their enemies, wanting to escape. Even Chao Hongyan's protector was terrified at this time. Originally, he wanted to kill the little ape king and the others to avenge Chao Hongyan. However, after seeing Sun Feng die, he only had the thought of escaping in his mind. Chao Hongyan's death could be reluctantly said that he was not strong enough. But Sun Feng's death made them very shocked. He knew that Sun Feng was stronger than him, but even so, he was killed by Murong Yu alone. At this time, Murong Yu did not look very good. His face was pale, and he looked like he had exhausted himself. However, he had already been killed. The little ape king and the others were also shocked by Murong Yu's strength. Murong Yu could actually kill a one-step immortal by himself. This made them feel a lot of pressure, and this pressure quickly turned into their motivation. In an instant, they unleashed an even stronger strength and fought with their opponents. Murong Yu recovered a little, then stepped on the void and slowly walked in the direction of the battle. Hui Tianyi and Chao Hongyan's protector. Chao Hongyan's protector was much stronger than Hui Tianyi. He was also a one-step immortal. Even if Murong Yu attacked him, he would not be able to kill him in a short time unless Murong Yu used all his trump cards. However, Murong Yu's mind was too exhausted at this time, and he could not use so many Dharma treasures. In the end, he looked at Hui Tianyi. Sensing Murong Yu's murderous gaze, Hui Tianyi watched as the pale-faced Murong Yu stepped through the void and walked towards him step by step. This caused Hui Tianyi's heart to grow even more terrified. Terrifying power constantly erupted from his body, trying to break free from the attacks of Hu Tong and the others and escape. However, Hu Tong, the fire-eyed golden ape, and the big black dog worked together. How could they let him escape? Murong Yu stepped on the void and came near Hui Tianyi. Hui Tianyi, it's fine if I don't provoke you, but you actually provoked me. You're courting death. Hui Tianyi's face was filled with fear. He regretted it so much. He regretted not bringing more experts over. That way, he would definitely be able to kill Murong Yu and the others. However, everything was over. The outcome could not be changed. Murong Yu sneered and punched at Hui Tianyi. Originally, under the attacks of Hu Tong and the others, Hui Tianyi was already in danger and could be killed at any time. The addition of an expert like Murong Yu had sped up Hui Tianyi's death. Hu Tong's power condensed into a sharp sword and directly cut off Hui Tianyi's head. Blood spurted into the sky, and Hui Tianyi's head also flew into the sky. Even in death, his face was still filled with fear and regret. You bastards, why aren't you coming over to help? We can't hold on any longer. Seeing that Hui Tianyi was killed, the little Lion King roared angrily. Murong Yu and the others looked over and saw that under the counterattack of Chao Hongyan's Path Protector, the little Ape King and the little Lion King were in danger. If they did not risk their lives to stop Chao Hongyan's Path Protector, the other party would have already escaped. Chapter 306. Murong Yu and the others didn't hesitate when they heard the little Lion King's roar. They immediately pounced forward. Although Chao Hongyan's protector was a first-step immortal, he was much stronger than anyone except for Murong Yu. However, the little Ape King and the others weren't weak either. Especially Murong Yu, who killed Sun Feng on his own. He was strong enough to kill Chao Hongyan's protector, not to mention the little Ape King and the others. Under Murong Yu and the others' unrestrained attacks, Chao Hongyan's protector roared angrily but was eventually killed. After killing Chao Hongyan's protector, the chief disciple of the Fecta sect, the saint, and 2 first-step immortals were all killed. If news of this battle spread, it would probably cause a stir in the cultivation world. As for the Fecta sect, they would probably go all out to hunt down Murong Yu and the others. One could even imagine how furious the Fecta sect would be. Perhaps the Fecta sect would also be furious with the little Ape King and the others, but they wouldn't go overboard. It was very likely that they would vent their anger on Murong Yu. After all, Murong Yu didn't have a strong background. Just like the little Ape King, the Fecta sect also dared to hunt down the giant Ape King for a few months because the giant Ape King was nearing the end of his life. After killing these 4 experts, everyone first looked at each other, then laughed heartily. They laughed very happily. Even Hu Tong had a smile on her face. They were all outstanding figures of the younger generation and were extremely powerful. However, not long ago, although they were powerful, they didn't have any battle achievement. Perhaps they killed transformation stage cultivators, or perhaps they killed half-immortal experts as well. However, before meeting Murong Yu, only the little Ape King had killed the Fecta sect's Hiyu. This was the first time they had killed an important figure and caused the Fecta sect to hunt them down. Then, they met Murong Yu and worked together to kill a first-step immortal from the Fecta sect. That was the first time they killed a first-step immortal. Today, not only did they kill the chief disciple of Fecta, but they also killed the chief disciple of Origin Void and his Dao protector. 3 holy sons had been killed by them, and Murong Yu had single-handedly killed Ma Tianyun. Several young experts of this generation had already been killed by Morong-yu or were killed because of Morong-yu. The little ape king and the others laughed loudly, feeling extremely carefree in their hearts. Previously they were also arrogant and conceited. However, they had never thought of killing a first-step immortal. But today they had done it. Under the influence of Morong-yu, he killed 2 one-step immortals. Stop laughing. Isn't he just a one-step immortal? Morong-yu glanced at them and said indifferently, I'm afraid there will be many eminent celestials on this trip to the Immortal Ascension Plateau. Let's see if you have the ability to kill them. The little ape king and the others were stunned. Then they smiled bitterly. They could barely kill a first-step immortal, let alone an eminent celestial who was many times stronger than a first-step immortal. They did not even think about it. No matter where Morong-yu goes, something big will happen. With his personality, he won't provoke an eminent celestial, right? Everyone looked at Morong-yu with a strange expression on their faces. With Morong-yu's personality, it was normal for him to provoke an eminent celestial. However, although Morong-yu was strong enough to kill a first-step immortal, he was not strong enough in front of an eminent celestial. Sensing their strange expressions, Morong-yu only smiled. He did not care at all and sat cross-legged on the ground to recover his strength. Seeing this, the others also sat cross-legged. In this battle, they had more or less suffered serious injuries. Their injuries were secondary. The key was that they had gained a lot from the battle with a first-step immortal. As long as they digested the experience, their strength would increase again. Morong-yu was the same. In front of the terrifying life force of the Tree of Life, his injuries were nothing. He could recover quickly. Even his mind, which had been severely damaged, was quickly recovering. At this moment, Morong-yu was digesting the experience of the battle with Sun Feng. After half a day, most of the injuries on their bodies had been healed. After comprehending the experience of the battle, everyone's strength had increased. With their current strength, it was much easier for them to fight with Chao Hongyan and the others. Freak! The little ape king and the others could not help but say when they saw Morong-yu, who was still sitting cross-legged on the ground. Before he entered a meditative state, Morong-yu's body was covered in shocking wounds and his face was pale. However, all the wounds on Morong-yu's body had disappeared. There were no scars at all. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed that Morong-yu had been injured. Morong-yu's pale face had also recovered its rosy color. How did he look like he had been injured? Morong-yu opened his eyes and saw everyone staring at him. He could not help but frown and say, "What? Is there something on my face?" Freak! The little ape king and the others said these words. Their voices were filled with jealousy. Morong-yu smiled faintly. He naturally knew what they were jealous of. It was his powerful strength and his terrifying recovery ability. How is it? Looking at everyone's energetic appearance, I'm afraid you all have a lot of gains, right? Morong-yu asked with a smile. Our strength has improved. If we fight with them again, it will be much easier. The little Lion King said with a smile. The others also nodded in agreement. How's your gain? Hutong looked at Morong-yu and asked. These people's aptitudes were top-notch among the younger generation, especially Morong-yu. Their strength had improved, but Morong-yu's gain was much more than theirs. I've improved a little. If I were to face Sun Feng now, I wouldn't even need to use all my trump cards to kill him, Morong-yu said with a smile. Although they did not break through their cultivation level, their strength was much stronger than before. He even felt that he could kill Sun Feng without using the Bow of the Universe, the Yin-Yang Cauldron, or the Soul Summoning Banner. At this moment, his strength had truly reached the first step immortal realm. He was no longer only able to fight against a first step immortal realm. Freak! The little ape king and the others glared at Morong-yu. They did not hide their jealousy. All right, let's hurry to the Immortal Ascension platform. If we're late, we won't be able to see anything. As he spoke, Murong Yu took off the storage rings of Sun Feng and the others. He had no choice. He had a large family and a lot of resources. He was under a lot of pressure. As soon as Murong Yu and the others left, some cultivators passed by. When they saw the corpses of Hui Tianyi and the others, they were shocked. Not long after, the news of Hui Tianyi, Chao Hongyan, and their protectors' corpses spread. It shocked the cultivation world once again. Although no one saw who killed Hui Tianyi and the others, when they thought of the scene in Xianyang City, they immediately pointed the finger at Murong Yu and the others, two young elites who were infinitely close to the strength of a first-step immortal, and two veteran first-step immortals were killed by someone. While the cultivation world was shocked, Yuan Su sect and Fecta sect were also furious. Especially the Fecta sect. How could they not be angry when their holy son and first disciple were killed? 2 of the top 10 sects were enraged, and the cultivation world was shaken a few times. Did you know? The first disciple of Fecta sect and Yuan Su sect and their protectors were killed. Their corpses were left in the wilderness. I've long heard about it. 2 veteran first-step immortals and 2 experts of the younger generation, whose strength has almost reached the first-step immortal realm, were killed just like that. Rumor has it that they were killed by Murong Yu alone? Is his strength that terrifying? It's said that Murong Yu has already reached the half-step immortal realm. Isn't it easy for him to kill first-step immortals? What's so strange about that? How is that possible? Murong Yu has only cultivated for about 20 years, right? He reached the half-step immortal realm in 20 years? Someone obviously didn't believe it. Whether you believe it or not, those people were killed by Murong Yu alone. Right now, Yuan Su sect and Fecta sect are looking for him. It's said that whoever kills Murong Yu will become the leader of their sect and enjoy the treatment of a grand elder. F***ck. If I can kill Murong Yu, doesn't that mean I can become their supreme elder? If I use their resources, I might even be able to become an immortal. Idiot, you want to kill Murong Yu with your strength? He can kill you with a sneeze. Do you think you'll go home? Dream on. Not long after, the cultivation world was talking about the deaths of Hui Tianyi and Chao Hongyan. Even the cultivators on the way to the Immortal Ascension platform were talking about it. Hearing the crowd's discussion, Murong Yu staggered and almost fell from the sky. Then, he gritted his teeth and looked at the little ape king and the others angrily. You're also responsible for killing Hui Tianyi and the others. Why are you only looking for me? Seeing Murong Yu's expression, the little ape king and the others laughed. It's a matter of character. Who asked you to have such a bad character? Haha. In reality, anyone with a discerning eye could see that no matter how strong Murong Yu was, he would not be able to kill Hui Tianyi and the others unless he triggered the heavenly tribulation again. But that was impossible. The reason why they only wanted Murong Yu was because of the little ape king and the others' backgrounds. Behind them were the Demon Mountain's demon kings. None of them were weaker than the 10 great sects. Moreover, because of the Immortal Ascension platform, both the human and demon races experts had come out. If the Fecta sect and the Yuanshu sect dared to arrest the little ape king and the others, they would probably attract the attention of their backers. Therefore, they knew that the little ape king and the others were also responsible for killing Hui Tianyi and the others. They only wanted Murong Yu because he had no background. Of course, this was only on the surface. Murong Yu and the others did not believe that they would not secretly send out experts to kill the little ape king and the others. As long as they found the opportunity, they would definitely kill the little ape king and the others. Chapter 307. Murong Yu was extremely disdainful of the Primal Void sect and the Fecta sect for bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Of course, Murong Yu was not afraid of being wanted by the 2 sections. At his level, as long as the other party's half-step immortals did not make a move, Murong Yu would not be afraid even if they were one-step immortals. If the other party did not have many experts, Morongyu would kill all of them. In fact, Morongyu could not wait for the experts from these sects to come and kill him. It was impossible to reason with people like them. Whoever had the bigger fist was the law. If he did not want to be wanted by them, he would have to use his fists to scare them and force them to withdraw their wanted orders. You guys should be careful too. Morongyu looked at the little ape king and the others and said. The little ape king nodded. They naturally knew that it was not as simple as just wanting to arrest Morongyu. However, as long as they stayed with Morongyu and the others, even the Fecta sect and the Primal Void sect would not be able to do anything to them. We'll reach the Immortal Ascension stage in a few days. The few of them did not stop and continued to fly forward at high speed. The closer they got to the Immortal Ascension stage, the more cultivators they encountered. They even saw a few half-step immortals. Along the way, no one dared to provoke Morongyu and the others. They were secretly happy that Morongyu did not cause trouble for them. Of course, Morongyu and the others were also very quiet these few days. After all, the closer they got to the Immortal Ascension stage, the more experts there would be. It was better for them to be quiet. Boom, boom, boom. However, they wanted to be quiet, but someone did not want them to be quiet. Right in front of them, waves of terrifying ripples spread out continuously. Amidst the waves of earth-shattering noises, there were angry shouts. There were experts fighting in front of them. Morongyu and the others looked at each other and did not stop. Instead, they flew forward. With their team, as long as their opponent was not an eminent celestial, they could do whatever they wanted. A few thousand li away, two groups of people were engaged in an intense battle. Terrifying energy ripples kept spreading out, causing the sky to fall and the earth to crack. The ground sank and blood flowed like a river. When he saw the people fighting in front of him, Morongyu exclaimed in surprise. You know them? Hutong glanced at Morongyu and asked. You can say that I know him. Morongyu looked at the young man who was fighting in the field. An inexplicable smile appeared on his face. I didn't expect this guy who only knows how to cheat others to be so powerful. Morongyu's brows suddenly furrowed, and his face turned gloomy. Hutong, who was beside him, felt an ice-cold murderous aura emanating from his body. It was extremely terrifying. Hutong looked at Morongyu in shock. At this moment, Morongyu had already calmed down. He said slowly, both sides are familiar with each other. Since we've met, we have to fight. At the same time, Morongyu looked at Hutong and the others and said, I have some private matters to deal with. If you don't want to participate, wait for me to come back. At the same time, Morongyu said goodbye to the big black dog and the fire-eyed golden ape. Then, he took a step forward and disappeared. Nangong Yuan was covered in blood. His body shone brightly, and his murderous aura soared into the sky. His attacks were ruthless. As he waved his hands, waves of energy shot out, shattering the void and attacking the people of the Fong family. He was the successor of the Nangong family. This time, the Immortal Ascension platform had reappeared in the cultivation world. Most of the older generation of the Nangong family had gone to the Immortal Ascension platform in advance. As the successor of the Nangong family, Nangong Yuan naturally led the younger generation of the Nangong family to the Immortal Ascension platform along with some protectors and elders. While increasing their knowledge, they could also gain experience. Not only the Nangong family, but other forces also did the same. However, Nangong Yuan didn't expect that they would be ambushed by their archenemy, the Fong family. 2 half-immortals of the Nangong family were killed in an instant. These were 2 half-immortals. In first-rate forces like them, which only had first-step immortals, half-immortals were definitely the top existences in the family. After all, first-rate forces were different from super-forces. In super-forces, although there weren't many half-immortals, there were still quite a few. For behemoths like the 10 great sects, even if they had half-immortals, they had more half-immortals than these families. The death of one half-immortal was definitely a huge loss for the Nangong family, let alone two. Although his strength had reached the half-immortal level, the Fong family's strength was also not bad. They even had 5 half-immortals. In addition, the successor of the Fong family also had strength comparable to a half-immortal. The Fong family had 6 half-immortals. As for the Nangong family, they originally only had 5 half-immortals including Nangong Yuan. However, in an instant 2 of their half-immortals were killed. If nothing unexpected happened, the disciples of Nangong Yuan who came out this time would be completely annihilated. They were all the elites of the Nangong family's younger generation. Seeing 2 half-immortals being killed by the other party, and about to die at any time, and the other disciples of the Nangong family were continuously dying, the fury in Nangong Yuan's heart became even more berserk. Nangong Yuan, let's see how you will die this time. Fong Qing used all his big moves to kill Nangong Yuan. He became even more complacent. Nangong Yuan's strength was originally above his, but just now he was heavily injured by a palm strike from the Fong family's half-immortal. Otherwise, Fong Qing wouldn't have been able to force him into a corner. Fong Qing, you bastard! If I escape with my life today, I will definitely exterminate the Fong family in the future. Not even a chicken or dog will be spared. Nangong Yuan spat out a mouthful of blood and said while gnashing his teeth. Exterminate the Fong family? Fong Qing looked at Nangong Yuan with disdain. Today, your Nangong family's people will all die. You want to exterminate my Fong family? In your next life. While speaking, Fong Qing's palm landed on Nangong Yuan's body and sent him flying while spitting out blood. Young master! Seeing Nangong Yuan was sent flying, Nangong family's people shouted loudly. Especially those 2 half-immortals, they wished they could kill the 5 half-immortals who were entangling them. However, the other party had 5 half-immortals after all. It was already a miracle that they were able to persist until now without being killed. How could they still go and save Nangong Yuan? As for the other disciples of the Nangong family? At this moment there were only a few of them left, almost all of them were dead. After all, with the lack of high-level experts, Nangong family was destined to not be Fong family's opponent. Could it be that my Nangong family will be exterminated by the despicable and shameless Fong family? A half-immortal directly killed a half-immortal of the Fong clan while risking being hit by the opponent's fist. However, he was also heavily injured. It was only a matter of time before he was killed. However, they were unwilling to accept this. These were the elites of Nangong family's younger generation. Nangong family still had to rely on these people in the future. If these people were all killed, then there would be a gap in Nangong family's talents. They might even be exterminated by Fong family. After all, if they were all killed, Nangong family would lose 5 half-immortal experts. With such a disastrous loss, how could Nangong family preserve their power? Nangong Yuan was furious. He forcefully increased his power and charged forward. However, he was heavily injured after all. How could he be Fong Qing's opponent? Fong Qing laughed heartily as he charged forward and sent Nangong Yuan flying with a punch. Nangong Yuan was injured again. His injury was even more serious. He was even less Fong Qing's opponent. At the same time, Nangong Yuan looked around and discovered that there were less than 20 Nangong family's younger generation experts left after being slaughtered by Fong Qing. Nangong Yuan was furious. He was unwilling to accept this, but now he couldn't even increase his power. He could only look at Fong Qing with resentment. Fong Qing laughed heartily as he charged in front of Nangong Yuan, and then fiercely slapped his palm towards Nangong Yuan's head. Nangong Yuan sighed in his heart. Even if he was at his peak, he wouldn't dare to take Fong Qing's palm strike head-on, let alone now when he couldn't even gather his power. He could only wait for death. Even so, Nangong Yuan still looked at Fong Qing with a furious expression. His eyes were unblinking, and they were filled with crazy killing intent. Seeing this scene, the other members of Nangong family shouted angrily. However, they were helpless against the strength of their enemy. They knew that if a miracle didn't appear, they would undoubtedly die today. However, a miracle really did appear. Nangong Yuan looked at Fang Qing with killing intent. He wasn't afraid even if he died. But suddenly, a wisp of shock appeared in his eyes. Bang! A large hand suddenly descended from the sky, and before Fang Qing could react, it actually directly slapped him into a bloody mist. The blood and flesh splattered all over Nangong Yuan. A one-step immortal? At this moment, Nangong Yuan was stunned. He couldn't even react in time. A one-step immortal actually attacked? Could this be a miracle? Big Black Dog, kill everyone from the Fang clan. The one who saved Nangong Yuan was precisely Morong Yu. With his strength, killing Fang Qing, who had just entered the half-immortal realm, with a single palm strike was extremely easy. Without waiting for Morong Yu to speak, the Big Black Dog and the fire-eyed Golden Ape had already charged into the crowd and started slaughtering. A one-step immortal? Seeing Morong Yu descend from the sky and directly slap Fang Qing to death, the 5 half-immortals of Fang family were stunned. Then, they reacted and turned to flee. In front of a one-step immortal, they half-immortals were like ants. Where do you think you're going? Morong Yu snorted coldly. He stretched out his hand and directly grabbed a half-immortal of Fang family who wanted to escape. Then, he clenched his hand, and with a bang, this half-immortal was crushed to death by Morong Yu. Seeing this scene, the others were shocked. Directly crushing a half-immortal to death, how terrifying was his strength. While everyone was shocked, Morong Yu flipped his hand and blasted another half-immortal into dust with a single punch. At the same time, the Big Black Dog and the fire-eyed Golden Ape also found the other 2 half-immortals of Fang family. It didn't take long for them to be beaten to death. You bastards of the Fang clan, go to hell! Seeing the 4 half-immortals of Fang family instantly killed, the half-immortal of Nangong family, who still had the ability to fight, was stunned. Then, he roared and began to slaughter the other disciples of Fang family. Chapter 308. Without the existence of a half-immortal level expert, coupled with the fact that the Fang family's people were already scared out of their wits, it didn't take long for them to be completely slaughtered by the Nangong family's half-immortals and the few remaining disciples. Ha ha ha! The Nangong family members couldn't help but laugh. However, their laughter was filled with grief and indignation. This time, there were less than 10 people left from the 100-plus young elite. Even though they had killed all of the Fang family members, the Nangong family had suffered heavy losses. Why did you save us? Nangong Yuan smiled bitterly as he looked at the black-robed young man in front of him. He had wanted to trick Fang Jingji, but in the end, he had been tricked by Fang Jingji until he vomited 3 liters of blood. When he first met Morong Yu, although Morong Yu was powerful, he didn't seem to be as strong as Nangong Yuan. In a short period of time, Morong Yu had become so strong that he could kill a first-step immortal. He had even killed Fang Qing, who was only slightly weaker than him, with a single palm strike. Nangong Yuan couldn't catch up to Fang Jingji's strength and speed of growth. I don't like them, Morong Yu said indifferently. Nangong Yuan was stunned. Then, he smiled bitterly. Yes, he just didn't like them, so he killed them all. This person was indeed as domineering as the rumors said. However, when he thought about how he had wanted to trick Fang Jingji, cold sweat poured down his back. He thought that if Morong Yu had really been tricked by him, he would have been killed long ago. Nangong Yuan looked at Morong Yu with lingering fear. He felt lucky. You're from the Nangong family. With your strength, it would be easy for you to be killed, Morong Yu said indifferently as he looked at Nangong Yuan and the others. Nangong Yuan's face was bitter. If they hadn't been ambushed by the Fang family, they wouldn't have been so miserable. Moreover, the older generation of the Nangong family members were at the Immortal Ascension stage. As long as they rushed to the Immortal Ascension stage, they would be safe. However, in their current state, they definitely wouldn't be able to reach the immortal ascension stage. They would be killed before they could reach it. After all the powerful cultivators in the cultivation world were heading towards the immortal ascension stage. Thank you. I will definitely repay today's kindness, Nangong Yuan said solemnly. Murong Yu only shook his head and returned to the side of the little ape king and the others. Then, he soared into the sky and flew forward. From the beginning until the end, the little ape king and the others did not make a move. With Murong Yu, the fiery-eyed golden ape, and the large black dog making a move, it was already very bullying. If the little ape king and the others also made a move, the Fang clan still didn't have the right to do so. Along the way, Murong Yu and the others encountered more and more cultivators. During the process, there were a number of blind cultivators who wanted to kill Murong Yu and the others. After all, the position of Grand Elder of Origin Void Sect and Fecta Sect was very tempting. However, because of the Immortal Ascension platform, most cultivators dared to go there. No one was willing to stay. Compared to ascending to immortality, what was the Grand Elder of Yuanshu Sect? Even becoming their sect master was far inferior to ascending to immortality. Therefore, those who wanted to kill Murong Yu were all itinerant cultivators. There were not even first-step immortals. Murong Yu was too lazy to make a move. He left them all to the fiery-eyed golden ape and the large black dog. They killed their way forward. After many days, they were already close to the immortal ascension stage. There were more and more cultivators. The Lianlua mountain range was a huge mountain range that stretched endlessly. It was almost the same size as the Demon Mountain. There were countless ferocious beasts here. It was an inconspicuous mountain range in the extreme north of the cultivation world. Usually, there was nothing special about this mountain range. Moreover, there were many powerful ferocious beasts here. Therefore, it was difficult to find people. However, at this time, the Lianlua mountain range was filled with powerful cultivators who were rushing over from the south. The weakest of them was at the body integration stage. The strongest were even half-immortals. Just as Murong Yu and the others approached the Lianlua mountain range, they sensed powerful auras soaring into the sky from the mountain range. These were the auras of cultivators. In addition, there was also a powerful aura that surpassed all other cultivators. It was extremely terrifying. From afar, besides the cultivators who were rushing over, a huge golden light shot up into the sky from the depths of the Lianlua mountain range. It pierced through the clouds and connected the earth and the sky. That should be the light from the Immortal Ascension stage, right? That powerful aura should be coming from the Immortal Ascension stage, right? Murong Yu exclaimed in shock as he looked at the intense but not dazzling golden light and sensed the aura that was as vast as the ocean. The others also looked at the golden light in front of them excitedly. Although they had never thought of using the Immortal Ascension stage to ascend to the Immortal Realm, it was still an Immortal Ascension stage. Who wouldn't be excited about something that could help them ascend? Let's go and take a look. Murong Yu shot up into the sky and rushed towards the Immortal Ascension stage. The Immortal Ascension stage was located at the highest peak in the center of the Lianlua mountain range. It was hundreds of thousands of miles away from Murong Yu and the others. For an ordinary person, this distance would take them several lifetimes to cover. However, with Murong Yu and the others rushing over, it didn't take long for them to cover it. The highest peak of the Lianlua mountain range was so tall that it pierced through the sky. It was majestic and magnificent. At this moment, a huge altar that was hundreds of miles wide stood at the peak of the mountain. It shone with a dazzling golden light. The golden light it emitted was like a golden bridge that connected the altar to the sky. It was so tall that one couldn't see the top of it. Majestic, magnificent, and impactful. This should be the legendary Immortal Ascension stage, right? Murong Yu was completely stunned when he saw the huge altar. So this was the Immortal Ascension stage. It was so stunning. Like Murong Yu, the cultivators who had just seen the immortal ascension stage were all stunned by its magnificence. Even those who had been here for a long time were deeply shocked. Humph! Just as Murong Yu and the others were dazed by the immortal ascension stage, a cold snort came from behind them, jolting Murong Yu and the others back to their senses. Murong Yu, the little ape king, and the others were enraged when they heard the cold snort that was filled with killing intent. "Get off this mountain!" Before the cold snort could finish, an angry roar came from behind them. At the same time, a terrifying wave of energy erupted, enveloping Murong Yu and the others and sending them flying. "You're courting death!" Murong Yu and the others were enraged. Even Hu Tong was enraged. Anyone who was attacked for no reason would be unhappy. Murong Yu turned around and saw an old man glaring at him with murderous intent. Other than the old man, there were dozens of other cultivators on the mountain. There were cultivators in the tribulation stage, transformation stage, and even half-immortal stage. However, there was only one first-step immortal. "You're courting death." A trace of chilling killing intent flashed across Murong Yu's brows as he looked at the half-immortal expert and sneered, "You're merely a half-immortal. You won't be able to withstand a single blow." As he spoke, he took a step forward and disappeared. The first-step immortal, who had been resting with his eyes closed, opened his eyes the moment Murong Yu disappeared. At the same time, he shouted, "Danger!" At the same time, he slapped the half-immortal stage expert. However, how could Murong Yu, who already had the intention to kill, allow them to act so presumptuously? With a loud bang, the half-immortal stage expert who had used his aura to suppress Murong Yu exploded. He had been killed by Murong Yu with a single punch. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. They all looked at Murong Yu in horror. However, the first-step immortal shouted angrily. He flipped his big hand and slapped Murong Yu, who had appeared in the void. "Old man, I'll send you to the immortal world now." Murong Yu sneered and punched out fiercely. Boom! The power of the two sides collided fiercely in the void, and then directly exploded. The terrifying impact instantly tore the void apart and spread out in all directions. Puff! The first-step immortal's big hand couldn't withstand a single blow and was shattered. On the other hand, he felt a sweet taste in his throat and spat out a mouthful of blood. The first-step immortal couldn't withstand a single blow. He couldn't even withstand a single blow from Murong Yu. That was a first-step immortal. The surrounding people were shocked. Even the little ape king and the others were shocked. After a long time, they said, "This freak's strength has improved again. Kill him." Everyone was shocked by Murong Yu's strength. However, one of the half-immortals reacted. He shouted and punched at Murong Yu. At the same time, the others reacted and attacked Murong Yu at the same time. "You're all courting death." Seeing these people attacking, the little ape king and the others sneered. They teleported into the crowd and started killing. As for Murong Yu, he had already locked onto the only first-step immortal on the opposing side. Step by step, he charged towards him. Sensing Murong Yu's strength, the first-step immortal was shocked. He didn't expect this group of young people to be so powerful. At this moment, he regretted it. He wished he could revive the half-immortal that Murong Yu had killed and beat him to death. This bastard, it doesn't matter if he dies, but he provoked such a powerful enemy. The first-step immortal was helpless. He had brought the experts of his sect here a long time ago. A first-step immortal was a giant in the cultivation world, so he naturally occupied a mountain. Previously, he was unhappy when he saw these young people coming to his mountain as if nothing had happened. He didn't even stop the half-immortal from attacking him. However, he didn't expect this young man to be so terrifying. He actually vomited blood with a single punch. Moreover, other than this inconspicuous black-clothed young man, his friends were also very ferocious. Screams of agony could be heard. The first-step immortal's disciples were killed by the little ape king and the others. With their strength, they couldn't be killed by the little ape king and the others. Chapter 309. All of you must die. Seeing his disciples and grand disciples being slaughtered by the little ape king and the others without any ability to resist, the first step immortal was instantly enraged. With a roar filled with killing intent, he raised his strength to the limit and charged at Murong-yu. Murong-yu smiled disdainfully. He took a step forward and shattered the sky. He appeared in front of the old man and punched him. Although the old man was a first step immortal, there was a huge gap between him and a veteran first step immortal like Sun Feng. He should not have been a first step immortal for long. A first step immortal at this level was the weakest. He was at the bottom of the first step immortals. Murong-yu, on the other hand, was strong enough to kill veteran first step immortals. Moreover, he was much stronger than when he killed Sun Feng. Bang! He punched out, shattering the void and causing the sky to collapse. The power unleashed by the first step immortal was directly smashed apart. At the same time, Murong-yu used the army formula and the dragon-elephant prajna technique to attack the old man. The old man was clearly shocked. He forcefully suppressed the surging blood and chi in his body and glared at Murong-yu, who was charging towards him. "You've gone too far," the old man roared. "Gone too far." Murong-yu sneered. His attacks didn't slow down in the slightest. Waves of frightening power burst out continuously, strangling the old man and forcing him to retreat repeatedly. "In my eyes, there is no such thing as going too far," Murong-yu sneered. "So it's Murong-yu. I heard that he killed a few first step immortals and is now wanted by Yuan Su sect and Tianji sect. He's Murong-yu. His strength is terrifying. This old man is courting death. How dare he provoke Murong-yu? Haha, he thinks he's invincible as a first step immortal. I didn't expect him to be Murong-yu, the devil. This old man is courting death." Hearing Murong-yu's words, the surrounding cultivators burst into laughter. Some people looked at the one-step immortal who was fighting Murong-yu with a mocking expression, while others looked at Murong-yu curiously. There was also a considerable number of people who were looking at Murong-yu eagerly. "Are you Murong-yu?" A bitter smile appeared on the old man's face. He never thought that the person his disciple had casually provoked would be this devil. When the old man heard about Murong-yu, he thought it was an exaggeration. How could a transcending tribulation stage cultivator like Murong-yu kill a first step immortal? He wouldn't believe it. But now, he believed it. When he saw Murong-yu's terrifying power coming at him like a stormy sea, the old man's heart turned even colder. He knew that he would definitely die today. It wasn't just because they'd provoked Murong-yu and bumped into his spearhead. Murong-yu could use him to establish his prestige. After all, there were still many ignorant cultivators who wanted to provoke Murong-yu. Murong-yu was worried that there was no one to establish his prestige, and this old man came to him. Murong-yu wouldn't let go of this opportunity to establish his prestige. Murong-yu naturally wouldn't let it go. Dragon Elephant Prajna Technique, Tiger Roar Emperor Fist. Murong-yu stepped out step by step, shattering the void. The terrifying power bombarded the old man, causing him to spit out blood and fly backward. With his strength, he was no match for Murong-yu. Seeing Murong-yu send a one-step immortal flying backward with a wave of his hand, the surrounding people looked at Murong-yu in shock. Legends were only legends after all. After seeing Murong-yu's terrifying strength with their own eyes, they were shocked. Some people who were tempted to make a move suppressed the thoughts in their hearts. "Dark, godly demon Prajna!" Murong-yu bellowed as he swiftly sent out a punch. Suddenly, the two incomparably huge godly demon shadows appeared in the void above his head. Then, they quickly punched at the old man. A terrifying aura burst out continuously, soaring into the sky and intimidating all the worlds in the heavens. Everyone was shocked when they saw the two towering fiend god phantoms that looked down on the world. When the powerful aura was released, they even had the urge to kneel down and worship it. Bang! After a shocking explosion, the old man took the attack of the godly demon Shadows head-on. However, this move was the most powerful move of the dragon-elephant Prajna technique. At this time, when Murong Yu used his full strength, it was indomitable and had the power to destroy the heavens and earth. The old man let out a shrill scream and was directly sent flying. The blood he spat out scattered in the void, leaving a trail in the void. The terrifying power was dissipated from his body, shattering the void. Murong Yu coldly snorted and took a step forward. Murong Yu's favorite thing to do was to beat someone while they were down. Thousand Army Elephant Fist. Tiger Roaring Emperor Fist, fourth move. Roaring Heaven Destruction. Murong Yu roared and used the Dragon Elephant Prajna technique, and the fourth move of the Tiger Roaring Emperor Fist, which was also the most powerful move. Bang! Bang! Terrifying power gushed out and directly bombarded the old man's body. Although the old man was a one-step immortal, there was still a gap between his strength and Murong Yu's. Under Murong Yu's lightning-like attacks, he could not fight back at all. In the end, he was punched into a bloody mist by Murong Yu. A one-step immortal was killed. After killing the first step celestial with a single punch, Murong Yu snatched the old man's storage ring from the air. He stood in the air and coldly swept his gaze over the people around him. Then, he stepped into the air and slowly returned to the mountain peak. At this time, under the fierce attacks of the Little Ape King and the others, the cultivators at the half-immortal realm had been killed. The original mountain peak had been shaved off by the power of their attack. However, Murong Yu and the others' strength had intimidated the surrounding cultivators. At this time, Murong Yu and the others also understood that on the countless mountains near the Immortal Ascension platform, each force occupied a mountain peak. This was also the reason why Murong Yu was attacked when he appeared on this mountain peak. However, after Murong Yu killed the one-step immortal alone, he should have intimidated some people. After all, to them, one-step immortals were the most powerful beings in the cultivation world. Their strength was far beyond what they could only look up to. Although the Grand Elders of the Yuan Su sect and the Tianji sect were tempting, they would lose their lives. So what if they could become a Grand Elder of a sect in the immortal realm? For a moment, the surrounding cultivators did not dare to get close to Murong Yu's mountain peak. However, there were still people who kept looking at Murong Yu with burning eyes. When will the Immortal Ascension platform open? Murong Yu asked softly as he looked at the awe-inspiring Immortal Ascension platform. Although the Immortal Ascension platform had appeared, it had not yet opened. Otherwise, why would these cultivators be so obedient near the Immortal Ascension platform? Legend has it that the Immortal Ascension platform opens for a certain period of time, and this period is not long. Once the Immortal Ascension platform opens, there will definitely be a huge battle here, Hu Tong said with a slight frown. Murong Yu looked around. There were countless mountains and countless cultivators. Just the number of first-step immortals was unknown. There were even the legendary half-step immortals. Almost all the experts in the cultivation world had flocked here. There were countless people. How many people can ascend from the Immortal Ascension platform? Murong Yu asked with a frown. I don't know. The Immortal Ascension platform has not appeared in the cultivation world for too long. However, once the Immortal Ascension platform opens, there will definitely be a huge battle here. Rivers of blood will definitely flow. When that time comes, even we will not be able to avoid it. Murong Yu and the others nodded. Although they could kill first-step immortals, their strength was already at the peak of the cultivation world. However, once the Immortal Ascension platform opened, the first-step immortals and half-step immortals would fight for a spot. How many first-step immortals were there? How many half-step immortals were there? Almost all the first-step immortals in the cultivation world had rushed here. Murong Yu only took a glance and vaguely felt that there were at least tens of thousands of them. When tens of thousands of first-step immortals fought, even the entire Lianlua mountain range would be destroyed. Perhaps even the sky would be trampled down. At the thought of so many experts fighting, Murong-Yu could not help but shudder. With his strength, he was like a drop of water in the ocean. If he was thrown in, he would not even cause a ripple. "If these people fight, we will retreat immediately," Murong-Yu said in a low voice. Little Ape King and the others hurriedly nodded. Although they were conceited, they were not arrogant. Boom! At that moment, an extremely terrifying aura erupted from the sky like a stormy sea. It enveloped Murong-Yu and the others and directly suppressed them. Bang! 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 Caught off guard, Murong-Yu and the others were sent flying by this extremely terrifying aura. This was especially true for Little Ape King, the fire-eyed golden ape, and the others. They were sent flying like broken rags as they spat out blood. Among the 5 of them, Murong-Yu was the strongest. However, he was also sent flying. Although he did not spit out blood, it was extremely difficult for him to resist. Swoosh! An indifferent old man appeared in the void above the mountain peak where Murong-Yu and the others were. He revealed a faint murderous intent as he looked at Murong-Yu. Half-step immortal. Murong-Yu was shocked. The tree of life in his dantian began to tremble violently as it frantically absorbed the chaotic energy to replenish Murong-Yu's strength. Murong-Yu, on the other hand, increased his strength to the limit to resist the pressure of the half-step immortal. Although Murong-Yu was sent flying, he did not spit out blood like the others. On the contrary, he was able to faintly resist his aura. A look of surprise appeared in the half-step immortal's eyes. However, it was soon filled with murderous intent. A cultivator in the crossing calamity stage was actually able to resist his aura. If he was allowed to grow, who in the cultivation world would be his match? This was especially true for his sect. Moreover, the immortal ascension platform had appeared. Once all of them ascended, no one in the cultivation world would be a match for Murong-Yu. This person must die. The half-step immortal was filled with murderous intent as he looked at Murong-Yu. He took a step forward and released an even more violent aura. He wanted to kill Murong-Yu. Chapter 310. Puff. Faced with the terrifying aura of the half-step immortal, Murong-Yu could not withstand it even though he was as strong as a first-step immortal. He spat out a mouthful of blood. If his physical body had not reached the level of an immortal artifact, his entire body would have been smashed to pieces by this terrifying aura. The strength of an half-step immortal was so terrifying. He had actually forced Murong-Yu to spit out blood with just his aura. Murong-Yu, the Little Ape King and the others were all sent flying by this terrifying aura. They all looked at Murong-Yu with pale faces as they coughed out blood. At this moment, they finally realized the gap between them and Murong-Yu. They also realized how much stronger Murong-Yu was than them. Most of the aura of the half-step immortal had suppressed Murong-Yu. The aura that had sent them flying and made them spit out blood was only the aftermath of the half-step immortal's attack. However, even so, they were still injured. However, Murong-Yu, who had endured most of the half-step immortal's aura, only spat out a mouthful of blood. They saw how powerful Murong-Yu was, but they were even more shocked by the strength of an half-step immortal. As the descendants of the Demon Mountain's Demon King, they naturally knew how powerful an half-step immortal was. Although there was only a one-word difference between an half-step immortal and a first-step immortal, there was a huge gap between their strength. Murong-Yu's strength could kill a first-step immortal, but he could not withstand a single blow from an half-step immortal. The half-step immortal was shocked when he saw Murong-Yu spit out a mouthful of blood but still managed to withstand his aura. However, the stronger Murong-Yu was, the more intense the killing intent in the half-step immortal's heart became. The stronger Murong-Yu was, the more the half-step immortal wanted to kill him. Under the aura of an half-step immortal, an ordinary first-step immortal would not even have the strength to fight back and would be severely injured or even killed. However, Murong-Yu actually managed to withstand his aura. Upon seeing this, not only were the eminent celestials shocked, but the cultivators in the vicinity were also shocked. How could a tribulation-passing stage cultivator block the aura of an immortal? It was absolutely shocking. However, what they did not know was that Murong-Yu was least afraid of pressure. After all, he often faced the pressure of the heavenly tribulation and was already used to it. However, the pressure from the eminent celestial still contained the power of an eminent celestial. When it landed on Murong-Yu, Murong-Yu could not resist at all. Although he managed to block the pressure of the eminent celestial, he knew his own difficulties. A cold, killing intent flashed in the half-step celestial's eyes as he took a step forward. Suddenly, an even more terrifying aura surged towards Murong-Yu like a vast ocean. Wherever the aura passed, the void would constantly shatter. Murong-Yu's expression turned solemn as he looked at the pressure that was rapidly approaching him. However, his heart was burning with rage. Half-step immortals were definitely the strongest experts in the cultivation world, but they still attacked him. "Old fart, you want to kill me? You're not qualified." Murong-Yu gritted his teeth as he spat out those words. At this moment, he had already circulated his power to the limit. His body erupted with terrifying fluctuations to resist the pressure of the eminent celestial. "You're overestimating yourself." The eminent celestial snorted coldly as an even more terrifying aura surged towards Murong-Yu, intending to kill him. Murong-Yu's eyes shone brightly as his killing intent soared to the sky. In the end, Murong-Yu couldn't withstand the unceasing waves of aura and spat out another mouthful of blood. At the same time, he was sent flying again. Crack! The crisp sound of bones breaking could be heard from Murong-Yu's body. Apparently, his bones had begun to break under the terrifying pressure of the eminent celestial. Purple ribbon celestial robe. Murong-Yu was a little frightened. Under the pressure of an eminent celestial, even if his body had reached the level of a celestial artifact, it would be difficult for him to resist. Strength. In the end, he was still not strong enough. Even if his body had reached the level of a celestial artifact, he was still not a match for an eminent celestial. Of course, if Murong-Yu's body had not reached the level of a celestial artifact, he would have already been killed. After all, his strength was only at the first step celestial stage, but his cultivation level was at the crossing tribulation stage. The difference between the crossing tribulation stage and the eminent celestial was several stages. Just the pressure of the stage alone made it difficult for Murong-Yu to unleash his full strength. Murong-Yu had no choice but to take out the purple ribbon celestial robe. An eminent celestial robe. With Murong-Yu's strength, he could unleash more power from the purple ribbon celestial robe. As soon as the purple ribbon celestial robe was taken out, Murong-Yu's body was enveloped by a layer of purple halo. Murong-Yu, who was inside the halo, immediately relaxed. Eminent celestial artifact? The eminent celestial was pleasantly surprised when he saw the purple ribbon celestial robe emitting a purple halo. When it came to immortal artifacts, no one had a better understanding of them than him. Eminent celestial artifacts could not unleash the full power of eminent celestial artifacts in the hands of ordinary people. If one wanted to control and unleash more power from the eminent celestial artifact, the wielder of the eminent celestial artifact had to be extremely powerful. For example, the purple ribbon celestial robe's power in Murong-Yu's hands was on a completely different level than in the hands of an eminent celestial. At the very least, an eminent celestial could unleash the full power of the purple ribbon celestial robe by dozens or even hundreds of times. When the Immortal Ascension platform opens, there will definitely be a huge battle royale. If I have a defensive eminent celestial robe, it will definitely make me stronger. The eminent celestial's eyes lit up as he thought to himself. At the same time, he reached out his hand and grabbed Murong-Yu. He wanted to take the purple ribbon celestial robe from Morong Yu's body. At the same time, the other experts who had noticed Morong Yu's eminent celestial robe also looked over, eager to make a move. When Morong Yu saw how shameless these people were, he became even more furious. At the same time, he knew how important these treasures were to these experts. "Get lost!" Morong Yu furiously roared. He raised his strength to the limit and fiercely slammed it against the half-step immortal's hand. At this moment, he did not dare to reveal the treasures in his possession. Otherwise, if he provoked more eminent celestials to attack him, he would really die today. "You overestimate yourself." The eminent celestial smiled disdainfully when he saw that Morong Yu still dared to resist. In the eyes of experts at their level, those below the eminent celestial realm were ant. Boom! Morong Yu's attack, which contained 100% of his strength, collided with the eminent celestial's hand. However, to Morong Yu's horror, even with his full strength, he was only able to stop the eminent immortal's hand for a few breaths of time. The eminent celestial's hand did not even suffer any damage as it continued to grab Morong Yu. On the other hand, Morong Yu's attack was directly shattered. Damn it! Morong Yu was also shocked by the strength of the eminent celestial. With a thought, Morong Yu's body swayed and he retreated rapidly. "Let's see where you're going." The disdain on the eminent celestial's face deepened when he saw that Morong Yu was actually trying to escape in front of him. He did not seem to have done anything, but his hand reached out and grabbed Morong Yu. With a swoosh, Morong Yu appeared hundreds of thousands of miles away. He had just heaved a sigh of relief when he looked back. Then, his expression changed drastically. With a step, Morong Yu appeared hundreds of thousands of miles away again. However, the half-step celestial's huge hand still reached out quickly. It was like a shadow attached to the body, like a gangrene attached to the bone. Morong Yu was completely shocked. Even with his speed, he still could not escape the pursuit of an eminent celestial? The gap between an eminent celestial and a first-step celestial was actually so big? Morong Yu was shocked, but the first-step celestial was dozens of times more shocked than Morong Yu. Those who had not reached the eminent celestial realm would not understand what it meant. They were the supreme beings of the cultivation world. Apart from cultivators of the same realm, no one was a match for them. However, Morong Yu's speed was not even comparable to that of an eminent celestial. Although the eminent celestial looked calm, in fact, he had already used 70% of his strength to grab Morong Yu. If they fought head-on, even if Morong Yu's body had reached the level of a celestial artifact, he would not be a match for 70% of the eminent celestial's strength. However, in terms of speed, even the eminent celestial could not catch up to Morong Yu. One could imagine how terrifying Morong Yu's speed was. However, the stronger Morong Yu was, the more the eminent celestial wanted to kill him. "Let's see where you can run to." The eminent celestial was furious. He took a step forward and was about to chase after him. Whether it was because of Morong Yu's speed or because of his speed, the eminent celestial could not let him continue to exist. He had to kill him. Moreover, he knew Morong Yu's character. Today, he had attacked Morong Yu. In the future, Morong Yu would definitely take revenge on him and his sect. No matter what, he had to kill Morong Yu. Ha ha! You old farts are really shameless. You actually have the nerve to attack these juniors? At this moment, a hearty laughter that was like a thunderclap was heard. At the same time, a huge golden hand reached down from the sky and grabbed the eminent celestial's hand that was about to grab Morong Yu. Rumble! The two huge hands collided in the void. Then, both of them exploded and disappeared at the same time. However, there was no terrifying impact. It merely shattered the void created by the exchange of blows. "Giant Ape King, you want to interfere in this matter?" The eminent celestial frowned as he looked at the giant Ape King who had appeared out of thin air. "I can't stand your shamelessness. Moreover, what do you have to say about injuring my people? The giant ape king's face darkened as he looked at the eminent celestial with killing intent. The eminent celestial's face darkened as he looked at the giant ape king with fear in his heart. The giant ape king sneered disdainfully when he saw the eminent celestial's expression. Then, he said loudly, "Morong boy, come back. Let's see if that old bastard dares to attack you today." You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.